It's opening night in Major League Baseball between the Yankees and Giants. First pitch at 8 p.m. Eastern on Netflix. Logan Webb will make his 5th consecutive opening day start, while Max Fried will make his first ever opening day start. Most of the other teams will open their season on Thursday. In the NFL, it was announced that the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks will host the season opener on September 9th, while the San Francisco 49ers and the LA Rams will play in Melbourne, Australia on September 10th. In the NBA, Adam Silver told reporters that a special Board of Governors meeting will be held in May to reform the draft lottery format in an effort to address tanking. The Board of Governors also unanimously voted for the league to explore bids for potential expansion teams in Seattle and Las Vegas. In college basketball, Butler announced they have hired one of their own, Ronald Norred, as their new head coach. I'm Brianna Muro.
I've been covering this league since 1987.
Can this sports writer and this sports fan share a radio show without driving each other crazy? Now, live from the Fox Sports Radio studios, here's Fox Sports Radio's Odd Couple, Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington.
For you today, we got my man Ephraim Salaam. He is in for Rob Parker on this Worship Wednesday. Rob, of course, you know, opening day. Well, opening night, you could call it. Opening night. He's going to be out there enjoying the game in Oakland. You got the Yankees and the Giants, so Rob will be enjoying some of that. Ephraim, you knew Rob had to go enjoy that. He'll be doing a bunch of baseball throughout the spring and the summer. That's his thing. But again, shout out to Ephraim Salaam, going to be with me the next few hours. We got a lot to get to today. Ephraim, what's up, brother? How are you?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Whoa, Ephraim, hold on now. Ephraim, I'm all energetic and excited. What you doing over there?
I'm trying to figure out this. You know, you're normally in studio with me.
You miss me?
So I'm trying to figure out should I be on this microphone? Should I be over?
What do I do with my hands?
I'm trying to figure out this configuration because no one wanted to come into work today. So, you know, that's how it goes, man.
Racist.
When you
Yeah, well, hey, Ephraim, I don't mind being there with you. Okay?
I mean, I would, yeah. I get that.
I'm dipping out of here. I got to go to Syracuse. I have to go to, they have, of course, the School of Journalism there. That Spectrum News 1, the station I do TV with. We're partnering, and we're going to help build up that journal school.
Has nothing to do with me now. I don't even care where you're going.
No,
okay, it's just, I'm here at work, showing up, ready to go.
Well, I'm glad you're ready to go, man.
I'm going to switch microphones so I can center myself.
Well, switch mics, switch mics, whatever you need to do. Do what you need to do when you need to do it, all right? By the way, be sure to check out our brand new YouTube channel, and you can watch us live on YouTube right now. That's right. We, of course, are simulcasting on YouTube. The video of us will be there. Just search Odd Couple FSR on YouTube. We'll have you set up there. You can check us out. You can comment, thumbs up, all that good stuff. Rob G will read some from the Odd Mob and YouTubians throughout. And while you're there, please subscribe as well if you could do so. We always appreciate that. We got a big show lined up for you. Coming up next hour, Mark Funky Co-Medina, Essentially Sports, Fox Sports Radio, NBA Insider. He will join us. We got One's Gotta Go, which will be a fun one. Kind of surrounding golf and food, Ephraim. I'll explain that a little bit later.
I hit it so good today. It was fun.
All right, shout out to Tiger Woods. He is back. Jonathan Von Tobel was going to join us as well. Get you ready for the Sweet 16 action that is kicking off tomorrow. So we got a packed show per usual. Let me welcome in the Odd Couple crew. We cannot do this without them. We have Rob G,
Bud Mexican
extraordinaire. We got Alex, engineer.
Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
And we have Bree, who's going to be giving you the updates throughout the day as well. Shout out to Bree. Good to have her. And Sagar is going to be our social media guru. Elijah is somewhere. I don't know where he is. He's somewhere across the world traveling right now. I have no idea where he is. So shout out to Elijah. But Sagar's going to take care of us today as well. Stop doing that. I told y'all.
Racist.
Hey, Rob G, jump on in here. We got Jayson Tatum's been back now for a couple of weeks, and a lot of people are getting excited about the Celtics, what they can be. But there's been a couple of glimpses of the Jayson Tatum of old, but there's also been some struggle bus going on too.
Yeah, big facts. Big game coming up in about 25 minutes or so on ESPN. It looks like it's going to be the Boston Celtics and the Oklahoma City Thunder, a potential finals preview. Everybody's excited about it. OKC's mostly healthy. Boston is mostly healthy. This could be a really good contest between these two teams. But the big story, you mentioned it, is Jayson Tatum's return to the floor. He came back 10 months post Achilles tear, looking like he's ready to roll. And there have been some positive, right? There has been, you can't say it's all been negative because he's been defending reasonably well, rebounding very well. You know, I think he's got 6 double-doubles. Or excuse me, he has scored in double figures in all 8 games he's played. He's scored 20 points in 5 of the games he's played. He's rebounding very well, but he just hasn't looked like Jayson Tatum. And that is primarily the problem. Since he's come back, you can tell he's still favoring that leg. He's kind of afraid to push off. And as a result, he's settling for a lot of threes. More than half of his shots have been from three-point line. The problem is he ain't hitting them, right? He's only shooting 39% from the field, and he's shooting 29% from deep. Yeah. Here's the other problem. The Boston Celtics were one of the feel-good stories of the NBA. Like, hey, we depleted our roster. We don't know when Tatum's coming back. Jaylen Brown like an MVP candidate. And it's because they're playing this helter-skelter outside of Jaylen Brown. Everybody's doing a lot of different things, keeping folks on their toes. Well, as soon as Tatum came back, he's not shooting the ball well, and yet he's playing like Jayson Tatum. His usage rate so far, 30.8%. For context, that's a higher usage rate than Nikola Jokic and Jalen Brunson. So he's not easing himself into the situation, and as a result, you have several anonymous executive and scouts that are worried about the long-term outlook this season of the Boston Celtics, with one anonymous scout saying there's a lot of downside to Tatum coming back and not so much upside.
Whoa. Here's the thing, Ephraim, I think we're looking at a case where teams are looking at what happened to Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, and the Warriors back a handful of years ago when Kevin Durant was hurt, playing against Toronto 2019. Everyone knew he was hurt. He came back, he played, he tore his Achilles again, and we were all concerned. And obviously that kind of put from downhill from then, because then Klay Thompson gets hurt, and it's just a wrap for the Warriors. And ultimately, Kawhi Leonard and the Raptors will get that championship. And by the, they played very well too, admirably. So I don't want to make it like they just lucked into one. They played some good basketball. But I think there's some concern with that. Man, do you come back too early, risk losing him again, and next thing you know, you might lose him for all of next season? So I do get some concern there. But I do think athletes nowadays typically have come back ahead of schedule. Athletes nowadays, this isn't you remember back in the NBA, when a guy had an ACL tear, he was never the same player. You know that. Guys were coming back. They had to become jump shooters. They couldn't attack. Antonio McDyess, to be an example. Guys couldn't, attack. They couldn't have that same athleticism. It's not exactly where we are now. Guys are able to come back healthy. In some cases, healthier, even stronger. But I look at it like this. We are now at the place, and Jayson Tatum, now that he has a ring, he and Jaylen Brown, we're at a place, Ephraim, where you can't just be good. Oh, man, he was a really good player, heck of a player. It becomes, well, how many titles did he have? Well, Bird got 3. Paul Pierce got 1. He got 1. He ain't better than Paul Pierce. And that's just Celtic people. Now you start talking about the other greats of his peers. So-and-so had this. Well, Steph Curry had that. Les Joker had 1. Giannis had 1. And I think they're looking at it as, when the opportunity strikes, we got to go for it. Jaylen Brown, I cannot tip my cap enough to him. He has been fantastic. He has led this team throughout the season. And I think they're struggling a little bit to kind of find that flow where they had it without him. Because you know this as well when playing sports. When you know your identified role, you can thrive. And a lot of those Celtics players got bumped up positions, bumped up role, bumped up usage rates, and they knew their role while Tatum was out. Now that he's back, everybody's trying to find their way, trying to find their groove. And I think they're going for the championship. They're saying, look, we got to go for it now. Jaylen Brown held us down. He's an MVP candidate. We got a shot to go for it. And we're willing to risk the future to go for a title because we are the Celtics. This is what we do. We got, 18 titles. And I think, or maybe 19 now. And I view it as they're
18.
saying,
Slow
dang
down. It's 18.
All right, I know. I'm sorry.
Relax.
18. Is it 18-18
It's
still?
18-17. Relax.
18-17. Okay, I knew they were up 1. So, Ephraim, I'll yield to you, but I think they're looking at it as the risk is worth the reward if we mess around and get a title. Because at this point, we've had the core together, especially those two, for the greater part heading towards a decade. We've had a bunch of Eastern Conference Finals. We had a World Championship. Went to the finals. We lost to the Warriors. We're at that place where titles is all that matters, and I think they're willing to risk it.
Well, I don't know how much of a risk it is in terms of what's the alternative. Not have him come back and play. We're living in a culture now, and Adam Silver has addressed this. Today was a big topic about, Cade Cunningham's agent is upset because he may not get the 65-game threshold to be get any of the All-NBA honors or MVP candidate. And so now we're talking about a young man who had ACL surgery 9 months ago, and now he's coming back to play. And now we're scratching our head like, why is he coming back to play? You can't have it both ways. You can't want guys out there playing, especially when they're making the type of money they're making, and then say, oh, well, that may not be smart for him to come back and play. I'm all for players playing. Now, medical technology and science has greatly increased since, even 3 years ago, 2 years ago, where we're seeing guys come back earlier and earlier from these injuries that would have sidelined them for half a year or 2 years or so on and so forth. Even back so far as when KD tore his Achilles, guys were – it was, 2 years before he played basketball again. It's not the same day and age, and every individual athlete is different. Everybody's body responds to injuries and recovery differently. So, I didn't expect him to come back and be Jayson Tatum, the Jayson Tatum he was prior to the injury. You got to remember, he's only had, 8-9 games, if that? And so his body is he's not in shape. He's not in basketball shape. And the reason they're doing it now is they've had such a tremendous year. They want him to be in shape when they roll into the playoffs. They want his legs under him. They want him to get all the rust off. Now, he's not shooting like he was shooting from three-point land because you need more legs than anything to shoot from three-point land. And his legs aren't under him yet. The fact that he's back in the flow of it, in the flow of the games, and not having any setbacks, not having any tenderness or swellingness, I think it bodes well for them moving forward. Now, you'd be asinine to say having someone who's a first-team All-NBA player for the last however many years, having him back in the lineup at a team that's vying for the number one seed in the East is a detriment. That makes zero sense, right? Having the ability to have two bona fide look, Jaylen Brown is an MVP candidate. What he's been able to do came from nowhere, right? No one expected the Celtics to be in the position that they are, and he held them now. Mike White and Pritchard, all those guys filled in beautifully, role players doing what role players do. But let's not get this twisted. Jaylen Brown is the reason they're where they are, and he's played at an MVP level on both ends of the court. So having a running mate, so now he doesn't have to do all the heavy lifting as we get into the dog days and out into the playoff series, he can't wait for Jayson Tatum to get back to old, because now he doesn't have to carry the load of a team that he's been doing all year.
I love the fact, too, with Jaylen Brown. I was telling Rob G this earlier. It feels like he's in his complete Jaylen Brown era, if you will.
Yeah.
I mean, just from the stuff, he's become more vocal. And I don't mean vocal. He's always been vocal on social commentary and things of that nature. And I love that about him. But I meant more, he's having fun. Remember, he was having fun with the whole hair dye on people's jersey and having I called LeBron.
Personality. We finally got a chance to see his personality.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So we know he's about the social commentary. We know he's about science. He's a nerd in that regard, he'll tell you. And we know he's also having fun. He's enjoying the season. He loves that, hey, I'm a dog out here. I'm an MVP candidate. He's talking smack. I'm not a free throw merchant like SGA and stuff. So I'm loving just the real full maturation of Jaylen Brown and him getting his love. And because he's been playing great ball for so long, and I feel like he's been able to do that and show great leadership. Because we all thought, I don't think anybody, if you've really been watching the Celtics for years, or had last 5-6 years, that they were going to fall off the map. I think you'd be definitely mistaken if you thought that, because they got a lot of guys who know how to play basketball, shoot, pass, dribble, play great defense. That's going to keep you in. But I didn't expect them to be competing and vying for the number 1 seed. Now, I don't think they're going to get it ultimately now. They're 5 games back, and the Pistons have been playing great, even getting a big win against the Lakers. My bad, Ephraim.
Barely.
Without Cade. Without Cade.
So here we go with this.
We're
talking about the Celtics, man. Where are you going? Where you done?
I'm saying the Celtics, Ephraim, aren't going to get the number 1 seed in the East. But I, as somebody, looking for the Pistons to do well, the Celtics worry me. My God.
Oh, yeah.
Jaylen Brown had them competitive as is. Now you bring in a top 10 player in the NBA when healthy in Jayson Tatum, a champion in Jayson Tatum, a guy who's been his running mate. Him and Jaylen Brown been running mates now for so long. I hate this for the Pistons. If you're the Knicks, you got to be sick too. Because, the Knicks, if you fire your coach, bring in Mike Brown, because the whole point is this is our year to get to the finals. And now the Pistons have been fantastic. And now the Celtics look like they might be right back where they were a couple years ago. So
this is what we have to be careful, be cautious of. When a player goes down or expectations go down because a player is injured, you have to look at the totality of the team. Look at the coaching staff, right? Joe Mazzulla is doing and has been a tremendous coach since he's taken over for Stevens. They're well coached. Well coached teams, even without stars or pieces, do well. Look at how OKC started the year. Mm-hmm. They weren't at full strength at all. Look at the Lakers. Their starting lineup has been together for about 10, 12 games only. Look where they are. They're third in the West. You have to look not just at the players, but you have to also look behind the bench at the coaches, the staff, owners. Like, all of this matters, and all of this, the Celtics, and as much as it pains me as a Laker fan to say it, they're well coached, they're a well-run organization, and they're not just going to put a subpar product out on the court. They're not the Pacers. They're not the Kings. Right? They're not any of these Brooklyn. They're not these teams trying to tank or are trying to, figure themselves out. They have all NBA caliber players, and so they're going to show up. All NBA caliber coach. They're going to show up and they're going to play no matter who's out there. Golden State is like that. Golden State playing with you, me, and the dudes over from Home Depot, and they're still in position to get into the play-in and have an opportunity to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, well, that's literally what they're going to do. They're going to be, it's like the NIT, the invitational. Come on in, Warrior. Here you go. It's great to see you, Steph. Hey, how you doing? The family good? All right. That's all they're going to get as an invitation to the playoffs to look at them real quick. All right, 877-99 on Fox, 877-99 on Fox. You want to jump in on this? You think Tatum playing is the right thing? Are you a little worried, concerned for the Celtics? Jump on in if you like, 877-99 on Fox. We'll take some calls on that. It is the odd couple, Kelvin Washington, Ephraim Salaam, in for Rob on a Worship Wednesday. Stick with your boys. It is Fox Sports Radio. So you got to start to looking at, Rob G, looking at the teams who are going to win it. And some of them are favored to have those freshman phenoms.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is year in, year out, we always talk about tournament time, like, hey, who's going to win it? Who's going to cut down the nets? And usually it comes down to one or two things. Either, because full disclosure, most of these people picking brackets are not watching all these college basketball games.
Right.
So they're going by either, hey, Ken Palm or whatever ranks this team as the best team in the country, I'm just going to roll with them. Or more than likely, I've heard of this guy before. I've heard of this coach before. I'm going to bet on Coach Izzo. I'm going to bet on Coach K. And in this case, if you've been living under a rock, the entire college basketball season has been revolving around the play of a handful of freshmen. They're calling it the greatest freshman class that we've ever seen as it relates to NBA draft prospects. It's headlined by 4 guys. Number 1, Cameron Boozer, Duke. He's going to be the National Player of the Year. He's on a quest right now to become, I think, just the second player ever to get National Player of the Year and win a national championship as a freshman. Number 2, a guy we've talked about on this show, Darren Peterson over in Kansas. Now, they're only a 4 seed, but by all accounts, Darren Peterson was viewed as the number 1 draft prospect in this class. Now, because of some load management, some injury issues, we don't know what it is, his stock is kind of taking a hit. So now it's like, hey, this is where he's going to reestablish himself as the best player in the country. Number 3, AJ DeBanza. He's a guy we've known about for years, even before these other 2, because he was viewed as the next Tracy McGrady, the next great lanky wing player to come out. And then he goes to play with BYU, and it's like, well, that raised some eyebrows. What's he doing playing at BYU when you're a 5-star prospect? Leading scorer in the country, all eyes are on him. And last but not least, the guy who's kind of taken this basketball world by storm, especially in the last couple of weeks, Acuff Jr. out of Arkansas.
He's nice.
Nephew, a friend of the show, Rashad Phillips, who might get on this week to talk about it. He is being viewed as, hey, if this was any other year, this kid is in that John Wall, Russell Westbrook, Derrick Rose class of point guards. If there's anybody who can lead their team deep, it's this kid. He's explosive. They just won the SEC tournament. So, guys, I ask you, given how ballyhooed this freshman class is, how much are you betting on one of these 4 guys cutting down the nets at the end of the tournament?
I'm going with none. And they're amazingly talented. We get it. They've been driving the baseball or basketball ratings as far as notoriety. You talked about the names you're looking for. But historically, Rob G, I got to just say it doesn't really work when you have these fabulous freshmen, these freshman phenoms. And this is coming from somebody born and raised in Ann Arbor, Michigan, who saw the Fab Five and cried tears as a 10, 11-year-old when they lost back-to-back, in NCAA championship games. And it was difficult. And there's something to that. And by the way, these teams we're talking about ain't loaded like that. That team would go on to have a Hall of Famer in Chris Webber, a heck of a player in Jalen Rose, and a really, really good player in Juwan Howard, and so on and so forth, Jimmy King and Ray Jackson. But my point is they had some guys. These teams don't even have that. You're looking at Carmelo Anthony, who did it in 2003, Anthony Davis in 2012, and really Jahlil Okafor, who led that Duke team back in 2015. That's it for the most part when you had these outstanding players who were freshmen. I just think it's too difficult for multiple reasons, Rob G. You're looking at teams that nowadays, Rob, how many jokes do I make last year around this time? I said, Rob, that guy looks like he went to high school with me and you. Or that guy looks like this. These kids are still getting the COVID years. You're still getting kids who get the 5th year, kids who find the way to get these 6 years. There's so much experience. Teams are transferring and getting transfer players who have been playing for years at other schools. So it is more difficult. You're having teams with so much experience. So many guys are on these teams that have done this before. And then you're playing teams when you're going to these tournaments that have nothing to lose, right? You're playing teams, we ain't going to win. We ain't going to win. So, therefore, they're playing styles and shooting up threes that you're not ready for. It is too much to ask these freshman phenoms to carry a team that is so reliant on them all the way through the tournament. That's why, Rob, I think it's just too difficult for them to do. And not to mention, I believe also sometimes with these players the last, 7, 8 years, in the back of their brain, the NBA is a consolation prize, right? So it becomes, I'm trying. I want to win this tournament game, but if we lose, guess where I'm going? I'll be a top 5, top 6, top 7 pick in a matter of a few weeks anyway. So in the back of your brain, you kind of have that thing you can rely on and say, well, if we lose, so what? I'm going to be a top pick, a lottery pick, and you have that.
You think they think that when they're out there playing, really?
No, I think they're competing, but subconsciously, what's the worst that can happen? Whereas
I'm just saying, if you're playing,
back in the 90s,
I just couldn't imagine be thinking about, okay, I'm playing in a basketball game. No, I'm dead serious.
I'm serious.
This ain't football where you don't want to play in a meaningless game. I get that. You're playing in a tournament. I don't know how.
I think
you're
they
at 19 years old
want to win, but if in the back of your brain, this is the difference when you know you're one and done. It is the Odd Couple. What's up? Kelvin Washington with you. Ephraim Salaam, who is in for Rob on this Worship Wednesday. DJ Ali Alex on the ones and twos. Again, we got a lot coming up this show. Just a reminder, coming up next hour, Mark Funky Cole Medina. We'll have One's Gotta Go coming up after that. And then next hour, we will also have Jonathan Von Tobel as well. We'll get you ready for the Sweet 16, which is happening tomorrow, Ephraim. So we got a lot going on. Hey, if you're into video games, celebrities, or just a good time, the Global Gaming League is a video game league with celebrity-owned teams from T-Pain and Neo competing in everything from Call of Duty to Tetris. So sign up and join the league now at globalgamingleague.com. You a gamer at all, Ephraim?
I am a gamer. My whole household's gamer. Wife, me, kids, everybody.
Wife too. All right. What's she playing? What you guys playing?
We play Halo. We play, Call of Duty. We play everything.
Man, I fell off so hard. I used to be Halo 1 was my man. That got me.
Halo 1.
Halo 1?
Whoa. Look, can I tell my truth?
Oh, my fault.
Can I tell my
Do
truth?
you walk without a cane, K-Dot?
Can I tell my truth?
Go ahead.
See, that's the problem with people
My fault.
nowadays.
You're right. You're right.
That kept me out of. I used to be out there running, hanging in the clubs, all that.
Oh, you was in the streets?
Halo. Oh, I was in them streets. And then Halo 1 came out. And it was like, all right, let's just game it up. And next thing I know, a couple of the boys who wasn't into it was like, man, we're going out tonight. All y'all do is play Halo. So shout out to Halo 1, kept me out the streets for a long time, man. But don't be making fun of me. I was still playing Madden and 2K.
No. I as an avid gamer, I'll never make fun of you. My only thing is you stopped at Halo 1.
Well, because I stopped the shoot. I just played 2K and Madden for another 10, 15 years.
See, I got burned out on sports games. Like, I was going to practice all day and then coming home playing Madden all day.
That's too much
and
football
all that. It's just too much. It's just too much. And so, I got into Halo when I was in Denver. We used to play in the locker room, in the equipment room at lunch. And then when I got to Houston, I had Microsoft come out and redo our whole players lounge and put the Xbox. We used to play against each other in there.
So you always been a connecting, because you just said I had Microsoft come out. So you always been connecting and going to different fields and all that.
Yes, always. But yes, I love gaming. Avid gamer. My kids, like I said, we can play all day, all night. My wife and I used to stay up till 4 or 5 in the morning playing Midnight Club, Dub Edition. Stuff like that. Like, we lifers, man. We play.
I thought it was family that pray together, stay together. Apparently, it's family that play together.
That's it. I'm telling you. You. Well, if you listen, a lot of guys get a lot of flack from their women or significant others because all they'd like to do is game. And I'm, not to give out too much information, but one of the most attractive and the sexiest things I've ever heard when I came home from practice or whatever, I would hear my wife upstairs in the game room talking trash online.
Oh, yeah.
To somebody she was playing in Halo, like shotgun to the face and and don't be mad. I am a girl. Don't be mad. It's okay. I'm better than you.
I love it.
Man, you want to talk about, I'm like, I'm staying with you forever.
Yeah.
Like, you better find commonalities in your marriage, people.
That's real. That's what happened to my wife. One day I called her, and she was like, oh, man, what's going on? Rip Hamilton, he's like 5 for 20 right now. I said, girl, say something like that again.
You and me.
So I will leave work right now.
Right now.
All right, on the way, we're going to talk Lakers. Yes, your squad, Ephraim. Yes, you too, Rob G. And a big question about should somebody return. We'll talk about it next. Right now, Bree's going to get you set on what is trending. Hey, Bree.
Hey, guys. How are you? Good. Thanks for letting me hang out with you. Okay, so there's 3 NBA games going on right now. We're about 10 minutes away from tip-off between the Thunder and Celtics, like you guys were talking about. Joel Embiid had missed 13 games. He's back. He has 15 points so far in the first quarter. The 76ers are on top of the Bulls 23-19. It's the first quarter between the Lakers and Pacers. Lakers ahead 30-19. Luka has 12 points so far. And the Hawks are on top of the Pistons 33-25. 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter. We are half an hour away from MLB opening night between the Yankees and Giants. Logan Webb will make his 5th consecutive opening day start. Max Fried will make his first ever opening day day start. The rest of the teams will open their season on Thursday. And in the NFL, it was announced that the Seahawks will host the season opener on September 9th, and the 49ers and Rams will play in Melbourne, Australia on September 10th. The Lions re-signed kicker Jake Bates, and the Falcons signed quarterback Trevor Siemian. And off the court news in the NBA, Commissioner Adam Silver announced that the Board of Governors will hold a special meeting to reform the draft lottery format to address the tanking issues going on in the league. Back to you guys.
Yeah, thank you, Bree. I have no idea what they're going to do to address that. Like, it's so funny, Ephraim. Like, we're talking about tanking like it ain't been happening for 25, 35 years. It might be more egregious. We might have more networks and streaming, and obviously we have more social media for people can complain on. But it's like, dude, tank has been happening for so long. Like, we like to reminisce about the 80s and 90s basketball as if every team was great. Like, no, you had just 6, 7, 8 teams. Let's not get carried away. Every team. I can't tell you one thing the Bucks were doing in the 80s and 90s. I can't tell you. There's a handful of
regretting the
teams.
Kareem trade?
Yeah, well, there's your answer. So I'm always like, tanking's been happening for so long. But we mentioned it again.
It's
if
just
you're in the video,
egregious now, though. That's the problem. And we have more access to all of the games, so you can see. Back in the day, only about 3-4 games were on national television. So I wouldn't know what – the Pacers were doing, right? I wouldn't know what the Clippers were doing. Well, no one would know that. Now every game is televised. Every game, everybody has a voice. We can see the tanking now. Before then, we had no idea. We just were fixated on our team or the team that was always playing on primetime, which happens to be my team.
And I would – well, you're right. And I would add to that, too, that there wasn't the same amount of sports, whatever you want to call them, debate shows, sports radio shows, all these types of, television shows where these things were coming up all the time. It used to be you had one or two and that was it. Now every network's got one or two different sports shows going on. You got a million shows, million podcasts. So these, and not to mention social media. So everybody has something to say about it as well. I do need to say this, that professional wrestling fans, the action continues every week. TNA Thursday Night Impact every week. Don't miss the adrenaline, the drama, and the total nonstop action as you watch your favorite TNA wrestling stars. For showtimes and more info, visit TNAWrestling.com. You just mentioned your team, Rob G, the Lakers. Been playing some really good basketball over the last handful of weeks, and obviously they just lost to the Pistons, but got one going against the Pacers. That should be an easy dub, a nice bounce-back game for them. But a larger conversation about what could be next for one LeBron James next season.
Yeah, Lakers right now, belt to ass in Indiana. We'll see if they can keep it going. Up 17 in the first quarter. We'll see. To your point, Sam Amick, longtime NBA insider, currently works with The Athletic, did a long-form piece this week on the Lakers and the surging Lakers. I know they lost against Detroit, but they've been playing really good ball over the last month or so, right? And a big reason why is LeBron James seems to have slid himself willingly into the third role, that he's no longer dominating the ball. He's not trying to Jayson Tatum in and get his 30 usage rate. Like hey, I'm going to set screens, I'm going to play defense, I'm going to pick and roll, whatever I got to do to help this team win. And they're winning. They're winning at a high clip. So Amick has now suggested that given the way the Lakers have played with LeBron in this supporting cast role, his expectation is the likelihood that LeBron returns to LA next season, which previously was considered no way in hell though that's going to happen, that he's done with the Lakers done with him. Amick believes that now that LeBron has accepted this role and they're thriving, that this could be a sign of things to come. Not only would LeBron come back for one more season, maybe even two. You on board with that?
Look, I've been hypercritical of the Lakers, LeBron, this whole situation, in the vein of LeBron James can't be the first option. He can't be. He can't have the ball in his hands the whole time. Whatever conversation him and J.J. Redick had about a month ago has paid dividends. You can see the Lakers being better. You can see the Lakers' defensive efficiency raise because now that LeBron isn't expending so much energy on the offensive side of the ball, he's able to have flashes of brilliant defense, playing the passing lanes, getting steals, out on the fast break, easy buckets. Those are the things. If LeBron James in this current state is your third option, you have a viable contending team. If LeBron James right now is your third option, then yes, you have a team that contend for not only a conference championship, but also an NBA championship. That's my opinion. In this current form, the way he's playing now and sacrificing getting off the ball, that's the IQ, the basketball IQ that's made LeBron James the face of the league for 20 years.
I think, too, what might be helping Ephraim, and when you've done business with people, when you've had bosses, when you've had managers, in your case, when you've had coaches, too, sometimes people who are just very direct with you. And I think sometimes with the Buss family, there was so much family and loyalty and mixed in. And
a lot of acquiescing.
Yeah, acquiescing. And LeBron's sitting there with Jeannie and Linda Rambis, and it's just, ladies' night out and all. And sometimes you need somebody. New ownership says, hey, Bron, this is what we're thinking. This is what we can offer. And I'm not saying they have full conversations about next year, but just much more direct path. And, by the way, I think some pressure will be on Rob Pelinka. Yeah, LeBron looks good. We know what Austin Reeves is. We got to get that deal done, keep him here. And Luka is Luka. But also, we got to keep filling some pieces around them. But I have a feeling there's just been direct, what you mentioned, J.J. Redick, a direct conversation. Bron, this is only going to go as far as you knowing how to win, knowing you're the only one who can play multiple roles. Luka is Luka. That's it. He can't do nothing else but be Luka. Austin Reeves, if you lose too much of him, then he becomes, well, what's his point? LeBron, you can be the guy tonight, can drop 30. Tonight, 15, 10, and 10. Tonight, you can just be the backline defense, blocking shots and rebounding. You're the only one who can play those multitude of roles and versatility in roles. So him buying in, JJ probably telling him that. Ownership probably becoming much more direct in conversation with them. Not a lot of the innuendos and kind of sortas and the maybes. I have a feeling that plays a role in this too, Ephraim. I don't think LeBron ever wanted to leave. I think he has an ego. I think he's been the face of the league. I think he's won them a title, so he feels like, don't treat me like that. But I think things have changed a little bit. And ultimately, it's going to come down to money too.
Oh, yeah.
Are you okay?
That's the biggest caveat.
The $15 million minimum league exception for you. Is that cool? We know you got all the money in the world, but are you okay from a pride level when it says LeBron James on his NBA reference page and we scroll down to salaries and it says 15 mil? Is that all right with you? If that's all right with you, we're willing to bring you back. We think you've been great. We think you're great in the locker room. You're great for the brand of Lakerdom, and let's roll. But I think they're going to be very matter of fact with him.
And you make an excellent point. That is the caveat, the price tag. LeBron James would love to come back to L.A. His family's here. His son plays on the team, right? His companies are in businesses are here. Not to say he doesn't have them elsewhere, but I'm sure he'd like to be here in the winter and
daughters
not
in school
in Cleveland. I mean, it'll be a lot to ask to have him uproot the family and chase out the last year or few years of his storied career somewhere else. Now, if he can come in and he doesn't have an ego about the amount of money that they want to pay him or can pay him for the team to still be better, built out and get a little better, that's even – just think about it. If he stays at a reduced price, that means his son gets to stay on the team. They still get to have that father-son relationship as they go through next season. And also, he gets to really save his body until the playoffs. I think that's the scariest thing for the Lakers this year is they figured out a way to coexist. They figured out a way to do it. Now, you put this format in a 7-game series, that's going to be a hard out for any other team.
The only thing I've said this before, E, I would be much closer in agreement with you had this been 6 to 7 years ago. That run of LeBron and Kyrie, some of the runs of the Tatums and the Browns were kind of just where a couple of guys who are very good and then some pieces around, you got a shot. Now I just think you got to have a bunch of horses, a bunch of dogs, a la the Pacers last year. Who knew that was coming, a chance to get to the finals? A la the Thunder. a la what the Celtics have become, where there's just a bunch of really good players. Looking at the Pistons, you got to just have a bunch of guys now. Spurs, don't let me sleep on the Spurs. I don't know if just having a guy or two is it. And I kind of worry about that even with Denver a little bit. Do they have enough depth? It's not that they don't have a guy in Joker and then Jamal. It's, do you have guys wave after wave who can give you the hardest 7 minutes they can play and then go sit back down and bring in another wave of guys, 94-foot defense, playing hard, team ball, and then they can go sit down. And that's when you watch the Thunder, you're like, oh, I forgot about him. Oh, I forgot about, dang, he can play too. Oh, you look at, again, how the Pistons beat the Lakers. Just a bunch of guys who play hard for the team. And I wonder if the Lakers, that's to me what worries me about them. It's not that they won't be top-heavy. It's the other things that worry.
Yeah, look, in the playoff series, the bench gets shorter anyway. So I'm not talking about the regular season. I'm talking about in the playoffs. That rotation gets real tight in the playoffs because, you got time and breaks in between games. And so I'm not too concerned with that going into the playoffs. Veteran-led team going into the playoffs. I don't need, Jared Vanderbilt to play 28 minutes in the playoffs. I don't need that.
But
right?
See, but you need where I disagree is you need a stopper. I get your sentiment, but
you got to stop. That's what Marcus Smart is in the lineup.
He's been great. He's been
right,
great.
and he's been the unsung hero. And let's not sleep on the Luke Kennard trade. Right, having Luke Kennard lead the league in 3-point efficiency is huge. So now when he just won the game 4 days ago on the last second shot. Now that you have a viable shooter who can space out, and now that high pick and roll with LeBron and Luka at the end of games and Kennard at the top or in the corner, now that looks like something. Now you can really go get a bucket when you need one.
Why didn't that work with Gabe Vincent? My gosh, Gabe got a couple of years tries that just didn't work.
Well, first of all, Gabe was very rarely available.
Yeah.
You got to remember he missed a whole year for whatever. He just sitting over there with the braids, just hanging out.
Well,
and then when he did play, he didn't have that level of efficiency that you would need from someone coming off the bench to really put up points.
I was making fun of the Lakers, the Tres Leches. We was called on Lakers. Now it's out. What number are we on now, Rob G? 6, 7. The Lakers, Luke Kennard.
Snow time, baby. Snow time Lakers.
The Snow time Lakers, what they call it. Ain't Showtime no more.
We got the coldest white players in the league, I can tell you that.
Yeah, the Snow time Lakers is crazy. All right, Tie Rack Player of the Day on the way. Plus, we got to get you ready for the standalone baseball game. Do you like how they're doing this? We'll tell you next. It's the odd couple, Kelvin, Ephraim, who's in for Rob. Stick with your boys, Fox Sports Radio.
Mannix asked SGA about, the perception about him around the league. The idea that he's the free throw merchant, that he doesn't play ethical basketball, so on and so forth. And SGA had some thoughts on it. Here, I'm going to read some of these quotes here. Quote, I understand why fans are frustrated about it because they're an X, Y, and Z fan. They're playing against us, and in the past couple of years, we happen to beat their team. And we beat their team because he scored more points. And we scored more points at the free throw line, in the mid-range, the three-point, everything. So I completely understand why they're frustrated. And then Mannix pressed him later about the negative commentary surrounding his style of play specifically. SGA says, quote, everybody in the history of the NBA has an arc where everybody loves them and everybody hates them. LeBron James was hated, and look what he's done for the game. It's part of the game. I love it. It's stuff I dreamed about as a kid.
You know what? And he went on to talk about some other things. It was a good read. I'll tell you what I liked about this. What I like about it is he talked about the fact that he understands this stuff is good because he himself is going to become the villain. People are going to write, it was a couple years ago, man, I can't believe the Clippers got rid of him. He's so nice. Man, look, I'll give up Paul George any day for him. Oh, wow. Now they're having success. People don't like the way he plays. We see him on national TV more. Obviously, we saw him in the finals. And so now it becomes he's a free throw merchant, or I don't like this, I don't like that about him. And what I like is the fact, whether you love him or hate him, he embraces this opportunity. He embraces this hero arc, if you will. He embraces that if you live long enough, the hero lives long enough, you become the villain. And that he knows this is good ultimately for the NBA, because when they come into town, you're going to go watch them, boo them, hate them, or obviously you may love them, love him, love the team. And if they keep being good as they have been, then they start to be in a deep postseason run. They start to be in the finals, Rob. And one of the things we may start to get is some great rivalries again. We might get Denver and Thunder having another 6-game, 7-game series. We might get him and the Thunder versus Spurs 2 or 3 times over the next few years. We might get them against the Celtics, or maybe it's the Pistons for the next few years. So to me, he understood that. He mentioned that in this article, that I know what comes with this territory. Winning a lot, it breeds a little hate, a little envy, also a little love and praise from people. It also allows for us to have some rivalries. And at the end of the day, all of this is good for the NBA. And I just love kind of where we've started to trend towards, where the teams are playing hard again. Teams are competitive. We had a handful, Rob, you might recall, we had a handful of weeks where it was dag near a fight every other game. So I like where it's going. And the best thing about it, again, is whether you like or love him or hate him, that he fully understands this. I mean, LeBron James talked about how he struggled that first year with Miami, when for the first time in his life, he had the black hat, right? When the first time in his life, he was getting a negative criticism, right? Because when he grew up as a high schooler, it was like, wow, look at this phenom coming. Got the league, wow, he could be the future of the league. He just chose to leave. That's when the hate started, and he didn't know how to handle that. He wasn't prepared. He admitted it. I tried to wear the black hat. I didn't like it. It wasn't me. I tried to be mean to the media, mean to fans, and it wasn't me, he said. SGA knows that comes with the territory. So I think that's great that this team know it. They're prepared for it. And to me, it leads to a better version of the NBA as we move forward, Rob.
Yeah, I don't agree. I don't think anybody hates SGA. They might not like his style of play. He's just not. What bad guy is he? He's a guy from Canada who doesn't say anything. What? How could he be a bad guy? Yeah, you don't like his style of play. You might not be. I just don't see him moving the needle on most nights in the NBA, other than that they're talented, they keep winning, and he scores 20 points every night. I don't hear the conversation. Is there a conversation that I'm missing about him?
No, I don't. I think a great example is
I'm just saying.
You brought up Luke. A lot of people look at on one end. If you're just a person who fell from Mars, you'll be like, what? Why don't people like this guy? This dude's he's insane. He makes a bunch of shots. He scored 40 a game, the last. But people talk about he always going to free throw line, always calling for fouls. Or James Harden was MVP candidate or MVP winner for years, and always drawing fouls. Like once you start winning, once you start having a lot of big time primetime games, and you're winning a lot, we start to have reasons to nitpick. And I agree with you. I don't think he's dislikable as a human being.
Yeah, I don't see the buzz for him. Even after that, people respect that he won. Even last year, he won. People don't like his style of game. At the free throw line, there's all that. Even players are talking about that. But I don't know if there's any venom or any kind of pushback on him. This idea of being a villain in the NBA or something because he's winning, I'm not sure. I think he'd have to win a lot.
Oh,
I
agree. I think it's coming. I agree.
If they don't win this year, I say they don't win this year. I just don't like. People will be like, "Oh, that was great. Look at what they did." SGA maybe wins another MVP, but they don't win. Then I don't know where that conversation goes from there. Do you know what I mean? I really don't.
It is Fox Sports Radio. It's your boys. It's the odd couple, Kelvin Washington, Ephraim Salaam, who's in for Rob. Rob out there enjoying the Yankees and the Giants, the first game of the MLB season, opening night. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. Ephraim, it is now time for our Tire Rack Play of the Day.
Harden gets the basketball from Tony Brothers, bounces it into Mitchell. Mitchell fakes. Mitchell into the lane, floats, scores as he got knocked down. Donovan Mitchell. Mitchell with the magic.
Cavs Radio there, your Tire Rack play of the day. Tire Rack, of course, bringing you that. And for over 40 years, Tire Rack's been helping customers find the right tires for how, for what, and for where they drive. Ship fast and free, backed by free road hazard protection with convenient installation options like mobile tire installation. TireRack.com. It is the way tire buying should be. And I've mentioned it. You got this standalone game tonight with the Yankees and the Giants as they kick off, of course, the MLB season. This is one of those things where I'm not gonna lie, Ephraim. Couple of things when I first thought of this. Rob is there, so I know he's excited about this. One, I just thought if you felt like if you're gonna do it, I thought wouldn't the reigning champs, the Dodgers, be there? Just kind of like big, hey, they won. They're the reigning champs. Hey, ring night instead of ring day, ring ceremony. Have a little ring night. Not to mention, if I'm commissioner, dang it, you gonna give me the Yankees and the Dodgers. We're gonna give you a potential World Series preview. Getting coast to coast, a little drama early, and again, ring night. Maybe make them a little like, dang, that's what we want. We the Yankees, we supposed to have a ring. So that's the first thing. I get it, but it's fine. It's opening night. So I'm still getting used to this, adjusting, because when you think of baseball, you just think of opening day. It's just, it's synonymous with it. You think of it, and obviously teams will have that, but you got this one standalone. So it might be cool. I'm going to check it out. But the only other thing I have, and this is applicable to all sports right now, I think it's more applicable to basketball than any other sport, Ephraim. Bro, it's so hard keeping up with the NBA. It's on Peacock, Amazon Prime,
that's the thing
NBC,
that bothers me.
ESPN. Wait, what app? And then if you're watching on TV, let me get the app. Or if you're on your phone, dude, it historically, and I know it's archaic, and I know get with the times, but Ephraim, you used to just know it was on TNT on the Thursday, and it was going to be on ESPN, and on the weekend, ABC. That was it. Obviously, your local games, but that was it. You knew, boom, 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 easy. Your thumb knew where to go on the remote. Now, wait, Peacock. Okay, wait. It's Netflix. So, we just got to move on?
No. Well, we have to. The money is the money, right? Unless you're gonna put it back on those channels, the money is the money. But this is what I'll tell the streamers: you have to update your viewer options in terms of if the game is the DVR changed everything. Like if I'm out and I want to watch the Laker game, I normally would DVR it and I'll come home and I can watch it, fast forward through the commercial, all of those things. Once it's off Peacock or whatever, you have to go search for it. Like the replay may not be available, or you gotta
log in or be an extra plus person.
You should be able to go to the Lakers. It'd be there, all their past games. They should be all of them right after the broadcast should be ready for replay. It should be simple. I shouldn't have to type anything in the search engine or search for it. It's just not, and it's not, the platform isn't built for that right now. It eventually will get there for live sports and replay of live sports. So it has to be just like if you're watching a movie, right? Just like if you're watching a movie, wherever you left off on the movie, that's where it'll be whenever you come back to watch it. And I don't know, maybe it's a rights deal. Maybe you can only broadcast it for a certain amount of time, or whatever. But the actual technical aspect of viewing these games needs to change and be more conducive to cable.
Yeah, they'll get there. I mean, and that's just the world we're living now where streaming, look, like you mentioned, they're paying billions of dollars for the rights to these sporting events. So we ain't going backward. The toothpaste is out the tube. But I will admit, basketball more than any, it is just hard to keep up. What's on Prime? What's on NBA TV? Okay, what's on Peacock? Or what's on this one? So it gets difficult. The Rams, they're on the clock. I'll tell you what I mean next. It's the Odd Couple. You know what time it is. It's your boys.
Let's get it. The Odd Couple is fun.
Check.
And informative.
Check.
What's up, America? You want to talk sports with one and a half of the best-looking guys in the game?
That game was incredible.
You are wrong. You'll be king of the water cooler.
What's it like working with Rob? Rob in his mind is like Chris Rock mixed with Richard Pryor, so I'm running out of fake laughs. Ha ha, Rob. Rob is very passionate.
Son, you ain't ready for this. Well, I don't have BS in my game. I'm straightforward. I'm honest. You say Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time, but Eli Manning beat him twice. And, of course, it doesn't hurt that I'm right most of the time. Kelvin is the nice guy, wants to make everybody feel warm and fuzzy.
You done? Let me tell you the truth. I bring the energy, a youthful energy. Rob's not gonna see this, is he? And I bring an honest opinion. Michael Jordan, I can't take it anymore. I need a break. I'm gonna go play baseball.
Trash Talking Tuesday is the best.
It's a great opportunity for folks to call in and they get to trash whomever.
Who you trashing, Roger?
I'm trashing LeBron James and Michael Jordan.
Oh, okay.
They can't even hold Wilt Chamberlain's shoes.
Stop talking about the king like that. It's a new era. Let LeBron be the best, please.
I only recognize one king in the United States, and that's Burger King. The connection with the Odd Couple audience is incredible. We really invite them in.
And they can relate, whether it be things about our own personal lives or our takes on sports.
Love you guys. You guys are killing it.
Hey, we appreciate you. Thank you for rocking with your boys. They feel like it's just my guys, just my friends, and they join right in on the show.
We talk with the listeners, not at them.
Obviously, you can listen to us live, but you can still check out the podcast. You can check out our YouTube. You can check us out on social media. So in any way you want to get it, you can get it.
Yes.
There's some yelling. It is some hot takes. It's a whole lot of fun. I'll give you that.
It is fun. I agree. Begrudgingly.
The Odd Couple.
Sports talk that's too good and too fun.
We are minutes away from opening night in Major League Baseball. The Yankees are taking on the Giants in San Francisco. Giants pitcher Logan Webb will make his 5th consecutive opening day start, while Yankees pitcher Max Fried will make his first ever opening day start. In the NBA, Joel Embiid is back after 13 games due to an oblique injury. He had 15 points in the first quarter. The 76ers are on top of the Bulls, 58-39, 2 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Luka Doncic had 21 points in the first quarter as the Lakers are on top of the Pacers, 63-42, 4.5 minutes left to go in the second quarter. And the Hawks are beating the Pistons, 56-39, 4 minutes left in the second quarter. Off the court news, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver announced that the Board of Governors will hold a special meeting to reform the draft lottery format to address the tanking issue. I'm Brianna Muro.
Can this sports writer and this sports fan share a radio show without driving each other crazy? Now, live from the Fox Sports Radio studios, here's Fox Sports Radio's Odd Couple, Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington.
That's right. It is the Odd Couple on a Worship Wednesday. As you just heard, Kelvin Washington, Ephraim for Rob. We still got a lot going on. And in about 30 minutes, bottom of the hour, Mark Funky Cole Medina is going to join us, Essentially Sports, Fox Sports Radio, NBA Insider. Good to chop it up with him and all the NBA news. We got One's Got to Go coming up after that. Ephraim, you're going to like this, my friend. It's got something to do with food, golf. I'll explain in a little bit. And then next hour, last hour, we will have Jonathan Von Tobel is going to join us as we get you ready for March Madness as it returns back to action tomorrow. So a whole lot left, man. Appreciate you rocking with us. You know the number, 877-99 on Fox. Don't forget YouTube. We're on there now. Shout out to Sagar, who is in for Elijah. Sagar's got us up looking good right now.
Racist.
Ephraim,
That's gotta be racist.
You know how it's always something cool. Like you were in many locker rooms, and it's always that one dude, man, you too short, or you too big, or your feet too big, or your head too big. And then that day they just had enough.
Yeah.
And you come in, you say the same joke. That's what I'll be worrying about with Saga. One day Saga gonna have a bad day, and then he's just gonna dive on Alex. He's just gonna dive on him for doing that.
No, he will not.
Check on YouTube right now. We're up there. Odd Couple FSR. Shout out to Saga. It's got us looking good. Thumbs up. Like, share, subscribe. We appreciate it. Seriously, man. Rob and I always say we don't take for granted all the folks that rock with us every single day. It means a lot to us, so I want to make sure I echo that as well. All right. Rob G, man, we got some serious stuff going on, some serious allegations with one Puka Nacua, who it's been about a year now where a couple of things have happened with him. And if you're the Rams, you got to be like, here we go again.
Yeah, it's a really tough scene if you are a Rams fan. If you're a football fan in general, it's not looking good. In case you missed it, it's been reported now that Puka Nacua, at a night out with friends, dropped some anti-Semitic comments to a group of people, and later that evening, in a Sprinter van, bit one of the women he was with so hard that it left a teeth mark. Now, she is suing him, and police are currently investigating the matter. We don't know what's going to come of it. More than likely, nothing. If we're gonna be, like, it's one of those things where it's he said, she said. Actually, no, correct me, I'm wrong there. His lawyers have not denied the bite part. They're denying the anti-Semitic part. So make that of what you will. Yeah. But in any event, you mentioned this has been an ongoing problem for Puka. Go for about a year now. All right. So we talk about this situation. Bites a woman, allegedly says, F the Jews. That's one. Number two. He gets wasted after the Super Bowl, which people do, and he makes fun of Sam Darnold on Twitter. Whatever, it is what it is. They're a competitor, not a big deal, right? Number three, goes on a live stream with Aiden Ross and agrees to do an anti-Semitic touchdown dance. And he claimed afterwards he didn't know what that meant. He tried to play ignorant to the whole thing, but that happened. Number four, goes on another live stream and criticizes NFL refs for saying they make calls just to tell their friends that they made it on television. So suggesting that these guys are on the take and they're just regular people. They're not actually being officials. Here's another one. Goes on another live stream. Guy loved live streams. God. Says that the Chiefs only missed the playoffs because of the Taylor Swift curse. Now, that's not a big deal, but it's just another thing to add to the list. Now, guys, you stack all this up and it starts to become a problem, right? And here's the other thing you got to consider. Puka Nacua is entering the last season of his rookie deal. He is eligible for a contract extension. The expectation will be somewhere between $40 and $45 million. If you are the Los Angeles Rams, knowing what you know now and seeing that when he plays, he's awesome. But off the field, there seems to be some issues you got to straighten out here. Mm-hmm. Do you still give him that massive deal?
I have massive reservations, Ephraim, and I'll tell you why. When you start to make decisions and start to make financial decisions, you have to think long term, right? And is this person going to be, that was a mistake? You're in the building, you know the person's character. They stuck by him last time, Ephraim. They said, we know his character, we know who he is. This was a mistake. He didn't, as Rob G mentioned, he didn't know that hand gesture. And a lot of people came out during that time on social media. I didn't know it either. I didn't know. So maybe you want to give him the benefit of the doubt with that. But once you start getting into violence, specifically violence against women, you start getting into repeated behavior of, oh, you're making allegedly, heavy on the allegedly, anti-Semitic points again. You keep going on social media and saying and doing dumb things. Now my concern is about your judgment. Now my concern is about, well, what will he really do once he gets the super bag? And so I'm very concerned. And what we're going to find out, Ephraim, is are the Rams trying to separate themselves as a world-class organization that is always competitive, that's won a couple of Super Bowls, or won a Super Bowl, been to a couple, I should say, and is always right there in the mix and is handling themselves in a different type of business? Or they're going to be like most NFL teams who turn a blind eye to stuff, who don't really care because, dang it, if you got some talent, come on over. You can throw a ball, come on over. You can catch a ball, come on over. You can go sack the dude with the ball, come on over. I mean, I think of guys like Greg Hardy. You think of guys, we've had instances where we know with all the stuff that Deshaun Watson, we've had other guys. We talk about the Tyreek Hill. We talk about Rashee Rice. We'll have to see what happens with that. But my point is, I think there's a line between offering grace. We all make mistakes. We sometimes forget these guys are young, 23, 4, 5. And then, this might be more aligned with who you are, and I might want to cut bait. So I'm going to be interested to see if the Rams are just kind of the status quo of professional teams, especially in football, where as long as you're good, in this case, he's very, very good, we'll turn a blind eye. Or they're going to say, nah, man, we're trying to go somewhere. We're trying to make things happen, and we don't want to keep having these repeated issues with you. And again, especially when it comes to something like violence against women. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. As far as giving them extension, I'm not giving you an extension right now. I take this very seriously. I don't want to give money to somebody that ultimately is going to be missing games, might be suspended for a season, what have you, might be criminally, might be arrested. So I'm not paying you for that right now. So I think they're going to watch and see how this plays out. But it'll be interesting how they handle this moving forward. Are they going to be status quo in the league, or are they going to be ones that maybe cut bait earlier than most teams do, Ephraim?
The thing first of all, have you ever seen Forrest Gump?
Love it. One of my faves. Yeah.
So Forrest Gump's mom had a saying that I think
pertains here. I know what you're about to say. Can I guess?
And it's not the box of chocolate one.
No, I know what it is.
Stupid is what
stupid
does.
And stupid does.
Period. Now, one thing, okay, immature. But two things, it's like, oh, okay, you got to grow up a little bit. Three things, it's like, bro, this dude's tripping. 4 or 5 things, stupid is what stupid does. You get what you get. If I'm the Rams, I trade him before the draft. You want to add draft capital? This is him coming off the years he's had. It's tremendous value. I'm trading him and replacing him. Big-time receiver draft right now, just like you found him in the 5th, right? Obviously, your scouting department knows what's going on, but there's a reason why he was a 5th-round draft pick. There's a reason why Antonio Brown was a 6th-round draft pick. It doesn't always have to do with what you do on the field.
It's a great point, Ephraim.
So as someone who's as buttoned up as the Rams are, and they're all in on this next year. They're all in on this next year. Mm-hmm. So what you can't do is afford or allow yourself to be on the short end of a stick of someone who's not making great decisions off the field, because that can manifest itself in where he's not available because he's done something off the field that takes him out of the plan of being all in. So now I'm looking, okay, what can we get for him? Who can we bring in? And how do we move forward? That's how I'm thinking about it. Now, will they let him play out on his, last year of his rookie deal? Probably. But as of right now, value outside of him having an all-pro season again next year would be right now going into the draft. Now, some teams won't be swayed by what's going on and the things that he's doing, but it's showing a huge problem with immaturity on a team that's older, a team that's felt they should have been in the Super Bowl and should have won the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
And so now there's no room for error. This is probably Matthew Stafford's last year. There is no room for error, so you don't want to have any distractions or things in that locker room that can alter those plans.
I think too, Ephraim, you use the Forrest Gump one. Well, I'll use one for you that people say, money really exposes just who you really are. And my concern would be, now I throw him all this money, is he going to be even more irreverent? Is he going to be more immature? Is he going to be even more reckless? And that would be a massive concern because, again, this is a big-time investment saying not only do we expect you to be great on the field, we expect you to be a great leader in the community. When you give that kind of money, we're not saying, hey, you're just good. We're saying you are a face of the organization. Yep. And you know this. You're going to speak in the community. You might have to go do a charitable event. You might have to go do something with kids. You might have to go through firemen, police. You're a captain, if you will. Like, that kind of money says you have a lot of say in this organization. We care about you. We want you to be here for the long haul. And it can't be a guy, well, here's a bunch of money. I think you'll be here. I think you might not be suspended. I hope you're not suspended. I hope we don't have to suspend you to kind of jump in front of it, in front of the league. You know how teams do that. All right, we'll suspend them 3 or 4, so hopefully the league will cut him some slack. So I'm just disappointed in him because, to your point, they had a really good season. Matthew Stafford is your MVP, and you're looking at it as, man, we feel like they could say, man, we should have been there instead of the Seahawks. And you try to bounce right back. He's a massive part of what you do. But again, this is too much happening in less than 365 days, Ephraim.
Do you want to pay that $45 million?
No. And you brought up a great – I want to go back to a point you made that I thought was excellent. Bringing up guys like Antonio Brown. When guys had to transfer schools, and I don't just mean because I didn't get enough playing time, I'm talking other stuff. Kicked off, this, grades, bad. And I'm not saying you're plenty of guys who have come out to be amazing people, not only good football players, amazing people. Again, I was 18, and I did some dumb stuff. I would imagine maybe you did. I'm not saying you can't. You have to be perfect when you're 18, 19, 20. However, if there is a pattern of having to switch schools, getting into a coach, then this coach with that coach, and got to go to another school, even though you're talented, that happens quite a bit where guys will go 3rd round, 4th round, 5th round, as you mentioned 6th, because there's something to them. This doesn't really pass the smell test. Like something's off. Why, when I go talk to some of his teammates, they kind of, when I go talk to his coaches, they're like, whew, boy, that boy was a problem child. And so I'm just saying, if you're Puka Nacua, man, it's time to wisen up, straighten up. And again,
hey, man, they gave him that conversation already.
They did.
Right?
They stuck by him very, very.
They're not going to – look,
admirably.
This won't be the first time he's heard them say, hey, chill out, man. Like, what's going on with you? He's going to do what he's going to do, right? So now, as an organization, you have to determine, right, is it worth it for this year? I'm not talking about 2 years from now and 3 years. For this year, is it worth it to disrupt an all-in type of year? Is it worth it? Or could you get some value, some trade value for him now?
Well, you brought up a good point with the scouting too, man. That's how they got Cooper Kupp. Like, who is this guy? What was it, 3rd round, I believe?
Look, man, they are proficient in finding, especially receiver talent. That's not a problem. Can you get something worth a Puka Nacua right now that you can now separate yourself from what may happen or the headache of someone who now makes $42 to $45 million a year and doesn't feel like there are any consequences for his actions or the things he says?
Last point for me, Ephraim. I'm so tired of guys getting on these streams. I'm not saying don't stream. Have a ball. Play the video games.
No,
do what you want.
You can be on streams. Just don't be stupid.
Don't be stupid. Don't be on the live flashing the gun, John Wick. Don't Like, just be, hey, what up? I'm out, me and the boys, we shooting hoop, we playing games, or I'm going to show you how to cook, whatever it is.
Stupid does, man. Like,
Man,
you can't
this
tell.
era-
Everybody didn't grow up with common sense, bro.
I know.
The one thing about common sense is it's not very common. And
We
so
might have to change that to uncommon sense.
And so when you get in these situations where you have someone repeatedly saying things and putting not only himself but his team in harm's way, they don't get it. Giving them more money doesn't make them understand it.
No.
And what will get him have him understand is he woke up in Cleveland playing for the Browns or in New York playing for the Jets.
Ooh.
Then it'll be like, oh, snap. Right? Like, so some things have to jar these guys into understanding there's a privilege to being a professional athlete.
So
or you have a
what is your
responsibility
privilege?
for yourself, for your organization, to do things the right way. And if you can't handle that, then you can't be here. I'm not going to pacify you, placate you, and give you all this money, invest all of this capital, and then find and say, damn, in 2 years we got to get rid of them. No, I'm not doing that.
Well, 877-99 on Fox, Ephraim. Let's take some calls. 877-99 on Fox. With Puka, what you've heard, what he's been through in the last 365, last year or so. Young, being dumb, you've had enough. Would you trade him as Ephraim proposed? Would you say give him another shot? Would you have a talk to him, release him? What would you do? Or would you, maybe you say, hey, man, look, he's too good. I'm extending him. He's too good. He gives us a shot at the Super Bowl. 877-99 on Fox. If you're the Rams, what do you do? We'll take some calls on a Worship Wednesday. It is the odd couple. Kelvin Washington, Ephraim is in for Rob. Stick with your boys, Fox Sports Radio. Let me tell you about Webull. Every sports season is built on preparation, studying the trends, and making the necessary adjustments to reach the ultimate goal. Investing deserves the same approach. With Webull, you've access to real-time market data, advanced tools, and an intuitive app that is designed to help you make informed decisions. So whether you're actively trading stocks, maybe options, ETFs, and more, or if you're planning for long-term for you and your family with IRAs, cash management, and custodial accounts for children, Webull gives you the tools to invest your way all in one platform. So looking to take preparation to the next level? Well, check out Webull's Learn resources. Join their in-app community. It's their feed to discuss investing trends and happenings alongside 25 million users globally. And now to help streamline your trading activities and elevate your strategy, try Vega, Webull's personal market AI assistant that can give you real-time analysis, watch list insights, and alerts when earnings drop. So get your financial portfolio game ready by downloading Webull. Go check out the Webull app today or visit Webull.com.
Webull Financial LLC, member SIPC FINRA. Investing involves risk. For more information, visit Webull.com/disclosures.
Yeah, it's a bad day for us Piston fans right now. Detroit basketball is down in a big way. Cade Cunningham officially diagnosed with a collapsed lung, expected to miss an extended period of time. They didn't say initially how long he's going to miss. Later reports confirmed it's going to be a minimum of 2 weeks. So even though Detroit is atop the Eastern Conference, they're currently winning against Washington. It's going to be tough to close the season without your best player, your only playmaker. And as a sidebar, unless he comes back at exactly 2 weeks, there is a very, very good chance that he will not be eligible for any postseason awards. This was a guy who was an MVP candidate as recently as 2 weeks ago, seemed like a shoo-in for first-team All-NBA, and now he could be left out of the cold completely.
And rightfully so. If you don't play enough games, and it's not has anything to do with Cade Cunningham, and he's had a tremendous season. But that's just the rules, and it makes sense. It's always been, I talk about it all the time, you don't qualify in Major League Baseball if you don't have 3.1 per plate appearances, right? Mm-hmm. That's what you need for 162 games. If you don't get that, you don't qualify. It's just that simple. Somebody could play 100 games in baseball, hit 400. They're not winning the batting title. They won't have enough at-bats. So the same thing when it goes to Cade and other players involved in this. But my biggest story, I think, and I know people are a little worked up about that he's not going to be up for awards. But I think if I was a Pistons fan, woke up and saw that news, the season's over for the Detroit Pistons. You could discount it, poo-poo it, try to make it not be so, and, he's going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks. He's not going to be ready to play in 2 weeks. Reevaluated. Then it's going to take you about a week or so to get revved up to play. So you're in a situation where you're going to be without him. Mark my words, the Celtics will catch the Pistons. The Celtics will catch the Pistons, win the Eastern Conference, and this will be the beginning of what looked like a beautiful season for the Pistons. But as you look at it, he's the guy, the creator, the guy who can score for them. Their outside shooting, their three-point shooting, abysmal. I'm sorry. It's Cade and nobody for the most part. It's Cade. He's the stirrer. He's the drink stirrer. Mm-hmm. Cade Cunningham. And to act like a collapsed lung is like a sprained ankle and he'll be all right and he'll be right back in there. It ain't that. It's a little tricky. Are there broken ribs with that collapsed lung? He could have broken ribs in there.
Mean, he took for those who didn't see what happened. Yeah, he took like a knee to his lower left side. But you know,
like usually that's
something
where
punctured it or something.
Something punctured it, so there could be 1 or 2 broken ribs in there. I like the 4 ribs at Grouse, but not when it comes to Cade Cunningham and the Pistons playoff.
You only getting 4?
That's all. 4 for $5. 4 bones. That's okay.
No, the deal is good, but I'll be
$5.
Hungry. I
It's
guess
just
that's
a
why
lunch.
you get
It's a
that in the
snack.
thigh, and then that makes sense.
It's just a snack. All right, but I'm convinced.
But Rob, you weren't convinced they were going to do anything in the first place. So this ain't a new revelation for you.
No, that the season's over. I didn't say that.
But I'm saying you didn't. My point is, what did you think they were going to do anyway?
Go to the second round, win an easy first round matchup, and
so they're not going to win a first round. You're saying?
I'm not convinced. Not with that. Not with that team.
Matchups matter.
Yeah, who are they playing? And then no Cade. If Cade's not playing, I'm not convinced.
I expect him to play in the playoffs. We got
what Cade are you getting in the playoffs?
As long as I get,
you got broken barbecue ribs.
Yeah, well, listen, as long as he got us, that's why we keep a spare. Ain't there such thing as a spare rib? We keep a spare rib around here, Rob. Dang it, we're gonna bandage him up. We're gonna give him some little holistic medicine. We're gonna call Alex, give him some beat it up juice or whatever you call it, and he'll be all right. No, a couple of things. One, obviously it sucks, but let me offer a silver lining or the way to find maybe a blessing in disguise. Even I, which is why I haven't said they're going to the NBA Finals, no, they need somebody who can take it to the next level. Jalen Duren has been amazing. Last game he had, I think it was 36 and 12 on like 75% shooting. He's been great. He's been an all-star. He's been spectacular. But he's not necessarily a guy you dump it down and say, give me a bucket. He can. And to his credit, he takes full advantage of teams who don't have the size and the strength that he has. I love to see kind of a throwback doing that. But you do need a bucket getter from the outside. And I'm wondering if I'm the Pistons to say, nobody wants our best player to have a punctured lung. Are you kidding me? Sounds awful. But can we, for the next 2 to 3 weeks, find some more offense, find some better sets, find some better ways to get guys shots, find some better looks for people? Does a guy step into a role that we say, we know he was solid, but dang, he actually really can produce or create for us. And now all of a sudden you got something that you can become an additive or an addition as you get into postseason. I mean,
but the only issue I have with logic is that you don't know what Cade is coming back, or you don't know to what degree.
So only going by based off what we know. So typically they say somebody's out when they've had this happen, 3.5 weeks has kind of been the average that someone is out with a punctured or collapsed lung, 3.5 weeks. So for them, that would lead them kind of walking right into the postseason. Fox Sports Radio. What up, Kelvin? Ephraim, who's in for Rob. It's the Odd Couple on a Worship Wednesday. Shout out to DJ Ali Alex on the 1s and 2s. We got Mark Funky Cole Medina getting ready to join us here in about 5 minutes or so. We got One's Gotta Go coming up a little bit after that. Are you into video games? Celebrities are just a good time. The Global Gaming League is video game league with celebrity-owned teams from T-Pain, Sade to Neo, competing at everything from Call of Duty to Tetris. Sign up, join the league at globalgamingleague.com. Go ahead and do that. Take some calls. Puka Nacua kind of keep finding himself in some hot water. We're asking you, if you're the Rams, do you resign him? Do you extend him? Do you trade him? What do you do? 877-99 on Fox. Let's take some calls. Rob G, who we got? Eve, who we got?
I'm here. We got Chris in Richmond, Virginia. You on the Odd Couple with Ephraim and Kelvin. What you got?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's up, man?
What's up, man? So I think, he's entering the final year of his contract. He's definitely a top 5 receiver in the league, in my opinion. They're just getting him at a bargain. 1,700 yards last year. I mean, that's crazy. I think they should, he's expected to, if he doesn't improve his actions, he's expected to earn a lot more after next year. So give him one more shot, see if he cleans up and see how that goes.
$1,700 yards, Ephraim. Get somebody giving you one more shot. Some people are cool doing that. Appreciate the call. I believe it was Chris. Thank you for that. All right, who we got?
We got Tony in Louisville. You're on the Odd Couple with Ephraim and Kelvin. What you got?
Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing?
What's happening?
Doing excellent, man. Thank you.
Good. Hey, look, I think the Rams should go ahead and cut this guy loose just because he's going to get worse. What else has he done that hasn't made the news? And I think the Rams already knew about Puka Nacua before they drafted him. So, again, what has this guy done in the past but just hasn't made the media? So they should send him somewhere to, wide receiver black hole, somewhere like the Jets or somewhere like that. Because I think this guy's only going to get worse.
No doubt. All right. Hey, appreciate it, man. Thank you guys for the call. We appreciate it. As always, like I said, on the other side of trending, we're going to have Mark Funky Cole Medina with Essentially Sports and, of course, an analyst here at Fox Sports Radio. We'll talk some NBA hoops with him right now. Bree is going to get you updated on all the action. What's up, Bree?
Hey, guys. Okay, so it's opening night in Major League Baseball. Only one game going on. The Yankees and Giants is scoreless at the top of the first inning. Kind of a slight delay. They had a lot of hoopla going on, a lot of opening night hoopla, but finally Logan Webb made his 5th consecutive opening day start, just struck out somebody. I can't see who. Okay, anyways, in the NFL, it was announced that the Seahawks will host the season opener on September 9th. The 49ers and Rams will play in Melbourne, Australia on September 10th. And in the NBA, 6 live games going on right now. The Hawks are on top of the Pistons, 73-65 early in the third quarter. Jalen Johnson, his first game back, he missed a few. He has 17 points. Luka Doncic had 21 points in the first quarter. It's halftime. The Lakers are on top of the Pacers, 75-59. We saw some LeBron and Bronny James time for the Lakers. I know Ephraim was really, really happy and excited about that. And the 76ers are on top of the Bulls at 79-60. Joel Embiid had 15 points in the first quarter. He now has 25, and it's all tied up between the Thunder and the Celtics, 49-49, 30 seconds left to go in the second quarter. And in the NIT quarterfinals, Illinois State is on top of Dayton, 49-32, 10.5 minutes left in the game. Back to you guys.
Hey, Bree, thank you so much. It is the Odd Couple. Kelvin Washington, Ephraim Salaam here in for Rob on a Worship Wednesday. And also got to tell you that if you are, again, into video games, celebrities are just a good time. You got the Global Gaming League. It's a video game league that has celebrities. You got, matter of fact, Ephraim, why aren't you one of them? Do they know you play this much? You need to be.
Man, I need to hook it up, man. Make the call.
Well, listen, my mouth to God's ears. Ephraim, go ahead and join the gamingleague.com so you can get in there. We got Neo.
Well, first of all, I'm not going to join it. I want to be one of the owners. I don't want to be the.
Well, that's what. But you got to get in there, right?
Well,
so
let me get in. Make the call.
Well, listen,
Rob, make the call.
Sagar, put the camera on Ephraim. Ephraim, go ahead. Make your plea right here. Tell him you want to be it. Go ahead.
I'd love to be in this game, one of the owners in this gaming league. I play every night. All right, play every night. My kids play. My 14-year-old, my 11-year-old, my wife plays. My mother-in-law plays. All right, we have 3 PlayStations in the house. Okay, 3 PlayStations, 3 Xboxes, Wii 2s, Wii 1s. All of my number one, my 14-year-old he's a vintage game console collector, so we have all of them. That's how big gaming is in my family. So you need someone like me, and I have a voice on the radio, and I produce films and write for TV shows. I actually put the
Alex, I need the campaign music.
I actually put the whole gaming system in Carlton's room on the show Bel Air I was writing on. So if you go in there and you look in the first season, he's got a whole gaming setup with the PlayStation and all of that. I wrote that in. That's what I did. That's how much of a gamer I am. So if I'm not going to be in the league, then who should be in the league? Thank you. I approve this message.
You got my vote, Ephraim. It is the odd couple, Kelvin Washington, Ephraim Salaam, in for Rod, joined now by our man. I don't know if he can top that. Mark Funky Co-Medina, essentially sports, Fox Sports Radio, NBA insider. Mark G. I wonder what the G is for. Greg? Mark Gregory Medina? Am I right?
Kelvin, you're close. It's Gabriel.
Okay. All right, Mark Gabriel Medina.
You're close.
I know. Hey, what's up, man? First off, good to have you on, man. Are you what game? Are you at the Laker game right now?
No, they're in Indiana. I'm at Clippers Raptors out here in LA. I'll be at Lakers on Friday.
Okay.
Hey, Kawhi Leonard potential revenge game several years later.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, we'll pass on that. Let's go to the Lakers. Let's talk what they're doing. They lose to the Pistons, but overall, we've been talking about it earlier. They look good. LeBron has seemed to have bought in this role. I told Rob Parker that I thought he would. I said if anybody's capable of doing it, it's his versatility, his ability to play so many different positions. Luka can't do that. Austin can't do that, and other guys on the team can't. What do you make of this? Is this a mirage? Is it real? Is it gonna? But is this something that can actually last in the postseason?
Well, Ephraim, you're 100% exactly right. It makes me wonder why Rob Parker's actually now on the show today, trying to escape maybe the questions about why you're so down on the Lakers. This is what LeBron James is. I remember asking him at the beginning of the season, how is he going to adjust his role given his multi-skilled resume? He's like, I'm a ball player. Like, I know how to adapt. I know how to make everyone better around me. And I never doubted, the X's and O's adjustments of him either as a first, second, third option on off ball, because he's been used to doing this. And one of the things that makes him such a great player is making the right basketball play. But I think everything else around them has improved. The player availability with all those 3 players, DeAndre Ayton being much more engaged. They actually look like a pretty good defensive team. And earlier in the season, you didn't see any of those things play out. So no doubt, Luka Doncic is playing really well. Austin Reeves has been a lot more comfortable after coming back from his injury. And LeBron James is still punching Father Time a little bit here. But I think it's more of the external things than anything about the big 3 and their fit. Because, again, when I was at games, I thought X's and O's dynamic is fine. It's just you can only do so much when there's so many flaws in the roster, so many overlapping injuries, as well as a poor defensive team. But somehow they've been able to address those issues lately.
What I was telling Kelvin earlier is if you get into a playoff series and LeBron James in his current state is your third option, then you have a chance to win every series you're in. If LeBron James is going to play the role he's been playing this last month and a half, then you do have a legitimate chance to compete with anybody in a 7-game series, because it virtually makes you unguardable if LeBron James is playing against your second unit, or if you're deferring until the fourth quarter, well, he can really stretch his legs and become a prominent playmaker down the stretch. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's a good point. I do think at the same time, because of LeBron's stature and he's a great player, in the playoffs you tend to take your game to another level. I don't have any skepticism that this can sustain through the rest of the season, even the postseason, as far as his willingness to sacrifice. But I think because of how he is, he'll try to address even more things. I think the main thing is because we don't know what version of Austin Reeves we'll see in the postseason. We've seen so far in his short playoff career that he either runs into a wall, just isn't able to handle the physicality and double teams and the fatigue. And I think if that's something that plays out again this season, you're going to naturally see LeBron think, okay, I'm LeBron James. I got to fill in and do all this. But I think when it comes to if all things are being equal, Luka's still playing at the level he's at. Same thing with Austin. I don't think LeBron's going to have a problem playing the role that he has because, again, even though he's always had a very important role in every team he's played, X's and O's, he's always been fine with being adaptable. I think the bigger thing is about, what his influence is over the franchise in terms of his contract, his influence with front office personnel, decisions, and all that. But when it comes to on the court, very, very adaptable, and I don't think it's going to be an adjustment even in the playoffs.
Mark, I want to go here. I'm looking at Wemby, and Rob and I got into it the other day because I was all in. I was Team Wemby, talking his talk, telling you, hey, Joker doesn't play defense, Luka doesn't play defense. Tell him why he's the MVP. Rob, you got to be humble, as if Rob's humble. And I just thought that, I love that he would be doing that. And I love that he's talked about the Thunder. He said, hey, we basically swept them. Point is, are you okay with him kind of big upping himself, talking about himself, or do you prefer him to just kind of put the meek role?
No, man. I'm in the media. I want players to be interested. I want them to be opinionated. I want them to share what they think. I don't want the cliches and the fake humbleness, all that. I have no problem with that at all as a media member. Now, objectively, when stars do that, you have to back it up, and Wemby has backed it up. He's been a very dominant player, and everything that he stated about his case for MVP, there's no incorrect facts here. Now, this is all fluid, to be clear. It's not like he doesn't have a chance to win MVP, but if the season ended today, I would still give the slight edge to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and here's why. Record does matter. The Thunder currently have a better record, but I think the bigger thing is Shai has been able to maintain his level of dominance even with coming off a championship year, even more physical defensive schemes targeting him. He had to deal with a lot of overlapping injuries with his supporting cast, most notably with Jalen Williams. So Victor Wembanyama, there hasn't been any major issues, that he's shown this season. So it's really just picking between two really great options, but it's going to be between those two players because as you mentioned, Nikola Jokic, he's a great player, but they've been on a slide recently. He's not known as a great defensive player. Kate Cunningham's already out of contention because of his injury. I think Luka is in the conversation, but look, his defense maybe improved, but still not that stellar. And Jaylen Brown, he deserves to be in consideration, but I think Victor Wembanyama, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, they're just on a whole different stratosphere with what they do as players and where both of those current teams are at.
Yeah, when you look at Victor Wembanyama, and I said this at the beginning of the season, if he stays healthy, he's going to be the best basketball player the world has ever seen. He'll be the greatest NBA player the world has ever seen. The things he can do offensively and defensively, it just changes the game like no other player in the league currently. It's unbelievable. What do you make about Kate Cunningham's agent balking about the 65-game rule to where players can't be considered for postseason awards or all NBA teams if they don't play 65 games or more, and dealing with the current issue of the collapsed lung? Where do you stand on that?
Yeah, I mean, to a man, to be clear, I feel bad for Cade Cunningham with this kind of injury, especially this late in the season. Obviously, when it affects players' contracts, that's tough, and you'd understand anytime you have a potential to make money and you lose out on it, that can be frustrating. But I think objectively with this policy, I think that there's flaws and it's a Band-Aid with this NBA 65-game rule, but the players and the union, they can't be crying and wanting to have their cake and eat it too. And here's why. It's been collectively bargained for players to be eligible for bonuses if they make all NBA teams. But those are bonuses. You have to understand that there might be strings attached here. And I think that's a much different conversation. And I agree with this, that, players have collectively bargained, have guaranteed contracts. So what if your role is reduced or you have an unforeseen injury? You can't allow a team to just throw you out on the street, right? Like that's something that's very volatile. So you already have that security there, and I'm not discounting the money. The eligibility for all NBA teams is real, but one of those things, like, there has to be some sort of trade-off. Now, with MVP and 65-game rule, I do have a problem with it only because it hasn't significantly addressed player availability, and it's also tried to solve a problem that doesn't necessarily exist. When you look at the history of MVP voting, Bill Walton is literally the only player that won MVP in a normal season. There's been some exceptions, lockout-shortened season, or like I think Bob Cousy won in the 50s when the season was shorter. But Bill Walton is literally the only player that won MVP playing under 60 games. So voters have always taken availability as a factor. It's not the main factor. It's usually play and team success, but it should be a factor. I mean, look, like when we're evaluating NBA champions, health matters, right? Like you can't say, oh, I got an injury, this shouldn't count this season. Well, I mean, that's what professional sports is. Same thing applies to the MVP race. I do get it, though, like, you know, the letter of the law, if you play 64 games and now all of a sudden you're out, I think that's dumb. But I think the bigger thing is, you know, it's not that big of a deal because it never has been a deal through most of the history of the NBA.
Yeah, I hate it because obviously Pistons, that's my squad, but at the end of the day, there's a reason why you made this rule. Guys weren't playing. Guys were saying, but my toe hurts, I ain't playing. My pinky hurts, I ain't playing. And if you look at this instance right now, what do you have again? A bunch of guys who aren't playing. That's why so many ineligible. So the rule, it's still, you still need to get guys playing and active in order to really consider it. To me, I said it like this, fellas. If you, I'm telling you, you need to pick your grades up as my child, and you come to me and get an A- and I want an A, I can consider it now. You can't come to me with a B and I said I wanted an A, and then I'll consider it. You can't come to me where all your stars are still injured and not playing 70, 75, 80 games. Clearly, there's still an issue. Hey, Mark, we got to go. I appreciate it as always, man. Enjoy the game, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mark.
Appreciate you guys. Combo was great.
Absolutely.
No doubt. Now we know Gabriel. Mark Gabriel. There you go. That's what the G for it, his name right there. Appreciate it, man. We'll get that up on the pod in just a little bit. All right, one's got to go. This one is going to be the Masters Menu Edition.
Oh, this is easy.
I'll explain. Alex, I'll explain what I mean in a minute. It's the odd couple. Kelvin, Ephraim's in for Rob on a Worship Wednesday. We're going to talk a little food next.
Oh, God.
Stick with your boys, Fox Sports Radio.
Who said Ephraim could fill in for me?
Justin Fields has been dealt to the Kansas City Chiefs for a future 6th-round pick, presumably so Fields can back up Patrick Mahomes, but possibly to start the first couple of games of the season while Mahomes rehabs a knee injury.
I've read all the comments. People thinking that Andy Reid is Mother Teresa and going to save Justin Fields, and it's everybody else. Every place he's been, it's everybody else. It's the offensive coordinator. It's the ball boy. It's the masseuse at the facility.
Whoa.
It's everybody except Justin.
The Browns.
Except Justin Fields. I think it's if he's going to be the backup quarterback and he doesn't play and holds a clipboard and goes to practice and does all that stuff, he should have a long career. He should probably play for 10 or 12 years. Mm-hmm. If you really think Andy Reid is going to turn him around, I just don't see it. Like, he's had opportunities. He went to the Jets. They gave him the quarterback job, didn't they? Was there They gave him the job. Aaron Glenn swore by him, the toughest quarterback to defend and work up a game plan for. That's what he said. Go read the quote. And what happened? They couldn't wait to get him out of there, right? It was really, really bad. Everywhere you go, you can't keep blaming everybody else. And Justin Fields, he seemed like the greatest guy in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if football's really, his main focus. I know he wants to be a missionary. At least that's what I read. I think he's had ample chances. And I'm not saying that he can't go there and be a serviceable backup. He go there for Patrick Mahomes and not play for 8 years. Okay, that could work. Or you play once in a blue moon. Starting quarterback in the NFL, I don't care if Andy Reid was working with him. I don't see it.
Here's why I totally get what you're saying, but the little pushback that I'll offer you. Justin Fields had Matt Nagy. He had Matt Eberflus as his coach in Chicago. Then he goes with Mike Tomlin, solid coach. We know, a very good coach, and a well-run organization in the Steelers, and he has some success. They chose to go with the Super Bowl winner and Russell Wilson, and that ended up being it for him. But we saw some success there. He's 4-2, 10 touchdowns, I think 1 interception, and was solid.
His numbers weren't good.
He was solid. But I'm not even here to act like he was some Pro Bowler or some amazing player. My point is, we saw some success. We saw some semblance of, oh wow, okay, he's a pro. Goes to Aaron Glenn. Chaos with the Jets. He's a horrible player. They aren't great. Bad situation. The only pushback I have, because I totally get what you're saying, but I would offer that the only time we saw him with what we would deem a well-run organization and a good coach, we saw some success. So that would be the only thing I would be interested in, is to see now you're with, obviously, somebody who's great offensively in Andy Reid. If nothing else, that's what he's been, is great with quarterbacks.
I think that's the biggest cop-out, that the only way a player can have success is if everything around them works. Mm-hmm. When we've seen players go to bad teams and turn it around and overcome that. And I'm going to give you, Cincinnati had not won a playoff game since Moby Dick was a guppy. Mm-hmm. And they couldn't win a playoff game. Joe Burrow, Rob G, am I lying? Don't go to Cincinnati. I'm trying to make the case that you're making for Justin Fields. You could Google it. Stories. People are trying to tell Joe Burrow, don't go to Cincinnati.
Right, of course
it's a bad organization. That the owner doesn't have money. It's a mom and pop store. They don't even have an outside facility. They don't even have an indoor facility. Mm-hmm. Like, there were all these bad things. The guy got hurt, played 8 or 9 games his rookie year, came back the next year, went to Kansas City and beat Andy Reid and Mahomes and the Chiefs and went to the Super Bowl. And my only point is, it can't always be everybody else.
But you said you said only, and I'm not saying that. I'm saying Joe Burrow might have had the greatest college football quarterback season we've ever seen. Joe Burrow is amazing. Justin Fields ain't that. So Joe Burrow can take a team that isn't that great and make them look better. And by the way, since then, Joe Burrow's been miserable. Joe Burrow, I don't even know if he want to play football anymore.
Not the point.
My point is that now look at him in his bad one organization.
People tried to talk him out of going there because they said that was a badly run organization.
And it has been ever since.
And he still was able to get them to the Super Bowl.
I'm not disagreeing. It's a fact. Fox Sports Radio. It is the Odd Couple. I'm Kelvin. He is Ephraim Salaam in for Rob. Hey, Ephraim, have you ever seen Kirk Franklin and Plies in the same place?
Say that again.
Have you ever seen Kirk Franklin and Plies in the same room?
No.
Are we sure there's not the same people?
Right.
I'm not sure that's not the same person,
That's
man.
funny.
It is the Odd Couple. Thanks to Mark Funky Cole Medina for joining us. We appreciate that. Rob G will have that up on the pod in a little bit. And if you missed any of today's show, we're going to catch the podcast. You can do that. Just search The Odd Couple wherever you get your podcasts. Right after the show, today's pod is going to be posted. Be sure to follow the podcast, rate it 5 stars. And you can even provide a review. Again, just search The Odd Couple wherever you get your podcasts. You're going to find today's full show in the best of version right when we get off. Shout out to DJ Ali Alex. Alex, it's time now for One's Gotta Go.
Hard decisions. So 5's a crowd. Is that what I'm blending here? 5's an uneven number. Figure it out.
Hear me out. One gotta go.
Hear me out. All right, this one is in honor of Roy McIlroy picking the feast to be had at this year's Masters. So when you win, you get to choose next year's dinner and all that good stuff, the Masters Champion Dinner menu. So, guys, I'm going to read what it is, and then you tell me between the appetizer, there's multiple, the first course, the main course, the sides, the dessert, which one has to go? Rob, Alex, Bree, Ephraim, you ready?
Yes.
Here we go. The appetizers are peach and ricotta flatbread,
okay,
bacon wrapped dates, which it says in parentheses, mom's recipe, so it must be his mom's, it must be lit, rock shrimp tempura, and grilled elk sliders. So that is your appetizer, okay? Keep that in your mind, keep that in your mind. First course, yellowfin tuna, carpaccio, if I said that right, with foie gras and toasted baguette.
Foie gras.
Foie gras.
Okay.
Your main course, Wagyu filet mignon or seared salmon.
Mm-hmm.
Sides, traditional Irish champ, whatever that is. Sauteed Brussels sprouts, glazed carrots and brown butter, crispy Vidalia and onion rings. And then your dessert is sticky toffee pudding with vanilla ice cream. So which is going? Appetizers, first course, main course, sides, dessert. You get a whole lot. Which one are you saying, nah, I'm good on that?
Who's first, me?
Anybody, jump in.
Go ahead, Bree.
Main course, which was Wagyu, filet mignon or seared salmon, yellowfin tuna, carpaccio with foie gras, and toasted baguette is your first course. Appetizers, you got peach and ricotta flatbread, bacon wrapped dates, rock shrimp tempura, grilled elk sliders. Dessert, sticky toffee pudding with vanilla ice cream. In your side, traditional Irish champ, don't know what it is, sauteed Brussels sprouts, glazed carrots with brown butter, crispy Vidalia onion rings.
Okay, I think the toffee pudding has to go because everything else sounds pretty good. Like filet mignon, that champ thing is a mashed potato dish mixed with scallions, butter, and milk.
Oh, that ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, that's delicious. So I would get rid of the toffee pudding. That needs to go. Who cares?
You don't want the vanilla ice cream that comes with it? All right.
No, I can get that at Rite Aid. It's fine.
Bree is kicking out dessert. Rob G, Alex, what you kicking out?
I'm getting rid of the appetizers. You gotta go. I mean, have you ever had a date before? Not
They're
a single
delicious.
person who had a date is like they're
I
great.
love
You need to
dates.
know you know what you're talking about.
But Rob
you're
G,
the only two people.
Put some peanut butter in it.
I'm Muslim. What are you talking about? We break
Rob
fast
G.
with dates. What,
Well,
I
you
love
got to
dates.
kick that out as a Muslim because you can't eat the
I can't
bacon.
have the bacon.
You are not
Appetizer's gone.
You are a Christiana, Jewish, whatever. I don't remember what you said, but it was a good word.
Chris Muhammad
it's Christmas.
Kwanzaa
There you
Day,
go.
man.
You one of them. So no,
I'm
you,
one of
you,
them.
you don't count.
Racist.
Yeah, I'm getting rid of
All
the
right.
appetizers.
So Ephraim and Rob G is kicking. Ephraim,
Appetizers
you got to
gotta
kick
go.
out the
Gotta
appetizer.
get bacon. Gotta go.
But I mean, there are other things. You still have to rock shrimp
Bacon
tempura,
has
grill.
to go.
Fine. Appetizers gone for Ephraim. Alex.
Yeah, I like the Ephraim take there because, swine, we don't whine with the swine. You know what I'm saying?
High
Like,
blood pressure.
Yeah.
Acne.
I mean,
Shrimp tempura, peach and ricotta flatbread. That's
no,
delicious.
those are great. I was just
Yes.
talking about pork, for example.
Okay,
Yeah.
so one
Grilled
little
elk
thing.
sliders. Has anybody ever had a grilled elk slider, by
Delicious.
the way?
No.
Delicious. I'll say this. First, shun Rob G from ever participating who talks crap on dates. Like, what are you doing, dude? That's the best nutritional thing you can eat to start your
Highly
day.
uneducated.
It's incredible.
Rob G.
Highly
skinny, though.
uneducated answer, Rob
Insane.
Thanks
G.
for getting them going, Rob G. Hey,
What?
I'm
Dates
with
I
you,
recognize
Bree.
involve movie and a show.
Sticky toffee pudding
Yeah.
with vanilla ice cream can go. I'm straight
can
on the
go.
toffee
I'm getting rid of desserts, too.
Yeah, I love ice cream. Love ice cream. But the food sounds like each one, I'm maybe not down with every single thing, but the food sounds incredible. I'm more of a, you go to restaurants, if they can say, hey, instead of, would you like dessert with that? If they can say, hey, would you like another filet or would you like another side? I'd rather that. I'm a food person, dessert second. So dessert's got to go for me. Sticky toffee pudding with vanilla ice cream's got to go.
Well, the
But
other thing we learned with Rory's menu is that he's not one of us. Like everything is highfalutin, highbrow, things that only the upper one Ephraim would eat, right? Nobody
I
else
appreciate
is
you not
eating
putting
any
me
of
in
these
that.
things. Well, normally it is you, and then Ephraim walked in the building. Now you're slumming with the rest of us.
Yeah, that might even be it. That's higher brow than me right there. My goodness. All right, well, shout out. I do want a grilled elk slider. I never had a grilled elk slider, Alex. Tell me where to go. Get one. It's the Odd Couple. You know what time it is. It's your boys.
Let's get it. The Odd Couple is fun.
Check.
And informative.
Check.
What's up, America? You want to talk sports with 1.5 of the best-looking guys in the game?
That game was incredible.
You are wrong. You'll be king of the water cooler.
What's it like working with Rob? Rob in his mind is like Chris Rock mixed with Richard Pryor, so I'm running out of fake laughs. Ha ha, Rob. Rob is very passionate.
Son, you ain't ready for this. Well, I don't have BS in my game. I'm straightforward. I'm honest. You say Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time, but Eli Manning beat him twice. And, of course, it doesn't hurt that I'm right most of the time. Kelvin is the nice guy, wants to make everybody feel warm and fuzzy.
You done? Let me tell you the truth. I bring the energy, a youthful energy. Rob's not gonna see this, is he? And I bring an honest opinion.
Michael Jordan, I can't take it anymore. I need a break. I'm gonna go play baseball.
Trash Talking Tuesday is the best.
It's a great opportunity for folks to call in and they get to trash whomever.
Who you trashing, Roger?
I'm trashing LeBron James and Michael Jordan.
Oh, okay.
They can't even hold Wilt Chamberlain's shoes.
Stop talking about the king like that. It's a new era. Let LeBron be the best, please.
I only recognize one king in the United States, and that's Burger King. The connection with the Odd Couple audience is incredible. We really invite them in.
And they can relate, whether it be things about our own personal lives or our takes on sports.
Love you guys. You guys are killing it.
Hey, we appreciate you. Thank you for rocking with your boys. They feel like it's just my guys, just my friends, and they join right in on the show.
We talk with the listeners, not at them.
Obviously, you can listen to us live, but you can still check out the podcast. You can check out our YouTube. You can check us out on social media. So in any way you want to get it, you can get it.
Yes.
There's some yelling. It is some hot takes. It's a whole lot of fun. I'll give you that.
It is fun. I agree. Begrudgingly.
The Odd Couple.
Sports talk that's too good and too fun.
It's opening night in Major League Baseball. The Yankees are shutting out the Giants 5-0. It's the bottom of the second inning. There are 6 games going on in the NBA right now. In Indiana, the Lakers are beating the Pacers 109-89. Luka Doncic has 39 points so far, 10 minutes left to go in the game. The 76ers are blowing out the Bulls 125-88. Joel Embiid has 35 points, 6 boards, and 7 assists. And the Thunder are trying to keep their 12-game winning streak alive. They're beating the Celtics 70-66. The Heat are outscoring the Cavaliers 63-48. 11 minutes left to go in the third quarter. And the Spurs Blazers are dominating the Grizzlies 53-38. A minute left to go before halftime. Victor Wembanyama has 8 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 blocks. And the NFL announced that the Seahawks will host the season opener on Wednesday, September 9th. I'm Brianna Miro.
I've been covering this league since 1987.
Can this sports writer and this sports fan share a radio show without driving each other crazy? Now, live from the Fox Sports Radio studios, here's Fox Sports Radio's Odd Couple, Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington.
Our number 3 on a Worship Wednesday. Been a great show thus far. Kelvin Washington, Ephraim Salaam again, who is in for Rob, who is enjoying some Yankees-Giants right now. Get a little update on that score right now. It's got going on 5-0 right now. Yankees are up. Bottom of the second, my goodness, already. The Bronx Bombers are getting active already right now. This first game of the baseball season. And be sure to check out the brand new YouTube channel. That's right, we're on it right now. Shout out to Sagar. Got us up looking good. Go check it out, Odd Couple FSR. That's all you got to do is search that. Alex, I was waiting on you. And go look for Odd Couple FSR. Hit subscribe, like, share, comment away. Rob G can read some comments later on throughout the show. So go do that. We appreciate it as always. And don't also let employee turnover slow you down. Business Express Employment Professionals finds a talent that you need to keep productivity on track. From the warehouse to the front office, Express staffs all jobs. Visit expresspros.com today. And now it is time for your Express Pro of the Week. And your Express Pro of the Week goes to the Nuggets big man, Nikola Jokic. The Joker had 23 points, 17 rebounds, 17 assists, golly, and a win last night over Phoenix. So again, congrats to Nikola Jokic for being our Express Pro of the Week, which also, Rob G, leads us to a larger conversation. The Nuggets have been a weird team this season in that they're right there. People still have their hopes on them because of the Joker, how great he is. But they haven't looked great, and they haven't really taken that leap, meaning, you know, right there, 1 seed, 2 seed. They're kind of just third, fourth, fifth, sixth.
Well, they're not third. They're not third because the Lakers are third.
I know.
But
if you would have won a week or
go
two
ahead.
ago, I'm just saying.
sorry, Rob G.
That's right.
The Lakers are third, so they're not like 3,
Lakers
5,
are third.
4, 5, 6, somewhere in that area.
And a game and a half behind the Lakers, Ephraim, are the Denver Nuggets. But Rob G, people have a lot of faith in the Nuggets in the postseason because of Joker and how great he's been.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only reason why people have faith in the Denver. Because to E's point and to your point as well, like, this has not been a great Nuggets season.
No.
A lot of it because of injury, but they just haven't looked like a team that would really get over the hump because the guys are hurt at all the wrong times. Only I think this week is they finally had everybody together. And even then, since Jokic came back from his knee injury, he hasn't the numbers look great. He hasn't played the way he normally plays. He's having double-digit turnover games against the Bulls for no reason. Like, it's been uneven for Denver. But because they have Nikola Jokic and because he is widely regarded as even now the best player in the world for 3-4 years running, the expectation is that if anybody is going to, you know, disrupt the idea of a Spurs Thunder Western Conference Finals, it's going to be
the Lakers.
It's going to be Nikola Jokic.
Oh, my fault.
And the Nuggets.
Didn't know where you were going with that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and even still, our fearless leader here, Kelvin Washington, doesn't share that sentiment.
This is my thing, Ephraim. Now, I'm going to be projecting a little bit because there's two people I kind of hold to these standards of how great they've been throughout their career. Now, we all know Joker has been, as Rob G has said, best player in the league, either 1, 2, or 3 for the last, if you want to say 6 years or so, give or take. And he's won 2 MVPs. But my one thing I'm always kind of like, man, people are vaulting. Tell me if you've heard the same thing, Ephraim. They're starting to put him ahead of Dirk, put him ahead of Larry Bird. People are starting to put him way up there in these lofty places, and I get the talent and I get the numbers, clearly. And he's doing things we haven't seen. We haven't seen a passing big man. Bill Walton was one of the best we'd ever seen. He's out here looking like the center Magic Johnson right now. However, my only thing is if you're that great, if we're starting to knock you past a bunch of people, then my expectations, and it's only based off being a victim of your own success as far as for him at MVPs, 2 MVPs. How many times has he finished as the runner-up or in the top 3? I mean, every year, the last 6 years or so. Then I have to start grading you differently. And his Eastern Conference version of this is Giannis. Now, he's had more success, but my point is, him specifically, but I've been mentioning this about Giannis to Rob over the last couple of months. These guys have been 1 or 2 best player, multiple MVPs, this, that, and the other. Well, how come they're not living in the Western Conference Finals respectively for him, Eastern Conference for Giannis? How come they're not always in the mix for a title? They've been good, but he has the 1 title in 2023. And then people what do they like to do about your Lakers? And that they always make fun of that 2020 ring. What do they call it? The bubble one, the Disney one.
Well, first, slow down, man. Take all of that sarcasm out your voice, bro.
I'm with you, but that's what people say. Am I crazy?
No, that's probably the hardest ring to win.
Well, I have said the same thing. People are away from their families for weeks to months, but people have called the bubble.
That was devastating.
Yeah, we were in the middle of chaos in the world. We don't know if people are going to die, whatnot. But people like to call that.
And we needed those games for us out here.
Our sanity.
For our sanity. Like, we needed the NBA to do what it did for us not to want to open the window and just, right? Just lean out head first.
But I bring that up, Ephraim, because they lost to the Lakers in the Western Conference Final that year.
Yeah.
1-4. Basically a gentleman's sweep. So get gentlemen swept in the Western Conference Final of the Lakers, and then they got the title in 2023. That's it. That's it. He's not regularly in the finals. He's not regularly in the Western Conference Finals, like routinely. I'm not saying you got to go to win the finals every year, but you know how the Celtics had been in the Eastern Conference Finals a bunch, and they were trying to crack through, and they finally got there, and they lost to the Warriors. Then they finally won it a couple of seasons back. My point is, for Joker, I'm watching him like, dang, for how good he is and how great he is in all time, and people are vaulting him up past people. When you start to look at the list of guys who won multiple MVPs, they stayed in the finals, right? You got Kareem won 6. We know he stayed. We already know that. Kareem stayed in the finals. Jordan, let's move on. Bill Russell, let's for sure move on, who had 5 MVPs. And then you got LeBron, who's got 4 titles but lived in the finals. Larry Bird lived in the finals. Magic. And so then you got Nikola Jokic with 3 MVPs. And I'm like, man.
It should have been 4.
But and that's my point. Like, if you're that guy, 4 MVPs, am I crazy, Ephraim? You love hoop. You watch hoop. Am I crazy for wanting a 4-time, should have been, as you said, a 4-time MVP, but currently a 3-time MVP, to not live in the Western Conference Finals?
No, it should have been.
To not be in the finals, to not be in the mix. Right now it's Thunder, it's Spurs, it's, are the Celtics going to do it again? And that's all I'm saying for where we vault him. The talent is crazy, the accolades are crazy, but people are jumping him ahead of so many people, and I'm just looking at history says, like, the people who are 1, 3, 2, 4, 5, 6 MVPs routinely were real threats to get to the finals and had gotten to the finals or at least stayed in their conference finals.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with supporting cast as well. I think in this day and age, it's hard to keep a championship team together. All right, we saw what happened with the Bucks and Giannis, and Golden State really had their core 3 together for a long extended period of time. I don't think a team has been able to do that since then. And it's one of those situations where what happens is you win a championship, guys are going to go get paid. Golden State decided they were going to just eat the luxury tax and keep those 3 guys and extend them on their contract. But now it's impossible with the new CBA and the apron, the apron of the collective bargaining agreement. You can't do that. You can't keep a team like that together, so you'll have less and less. Like OKC has an opportunity to do something special because they have a young core. Of course, Williams is paid, Shea is paid, but they got a bunch of guys who are still trying to make their name in this league. Another team that is prime for doing something like this because they keep hitting on draft picks are the Spurs. right? You have to be able to develop these players, these young players at a rapid pace, and then maintain them and then keep them and be successful while they're young and learning. And Denver wasn't like that. They had older players. Remember they lost Bruce Brown right after that? Even though the coach came out and was like, Bruce isn't going anywhere. And then he went somewhere, right? So once owners feel that championship, they don't mind parting ways with pieces. And so I think that bodes back in the day, teams were just staying together. The Bulls were going to be the Bulls. The Lakers were going to be the Lakers. The Celtics definitely weren't getting rid of anybody. They may add pieces, but they weren't going to get rid of anybody that really gave them an opportunity to continue to compete in the finals. So I can't put it all on Nikola Jokic, right? Because he's been such a superior athlete and a player in the NBA, and he also makes his team lazy. He leads his team in points, assists, rebounds, blocks,
steals.
Everything. Steals. He leads his team in every category. So, yeah, there'll be some times where he'll have a 43, 20, and 15 night. Like, okay, but can he do that every night? No, of course not. So his team, they get a little lazy, get a little, complacent with his greatness. And you got to remember, he is a center. Even though he has the ball in his hands a lot, he's not extremely fast. He's not going to attack the basket like that. So when you look at somebody like Shea is fast-paced. He's getting his shot. Nikola Jokic is setting his teammates up. The game is a little bit slower in pace and things like that. So he won't get the same accolades as a Shea does. The MVP Joel Embiid won over him was ridiculous. That was just recency bias.
We're tired of him, fatigue.
That was just recency bias. That's all. But Nikola Jokic, no matter what anyone says, he's one of the greatest basketball players to ever step on the court.
That's not even a question. That's why I'm sitting here scratching my head. Like, man, people who are typically this dominant, it usually comes with more dominance postseason-wise.
Mm-hmm.
That's my only thing. Nobody has questioned his talent. Nobody has questioned his ability. But when people are man, Jokic, they're knocking guys out. He's jumping, vaulting people, and they're all-time greats. And I'm like, man, well, that usually comes with a lot more sustained postseason success. Because ultimately, from when we start listing the greats of the greats of the greats, that's generally what we go to, right? And what's the reason why most of the time people say LeBron can't be the GOAT? Jordan 6-0, right? Whether you agree or not, but that's my point. They 6-0. Kobe 5-2 and sustained success. And Kobe's only got one MVP,
which is crazy.
I know to think about.
Come on now.
But
I know. They let Steve Nash steal it, but God, it's fine. It's fine.
I know. And
twice, but it's fine.
Twice. He has two. So again, I'm just looking at these. Tim Duncan, who has two MVPs. We know how many times he went to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
What was he? 5-1. So that's all I'm saying. It's just interesting to me. The two guys who've been dominating their conferences the last 7-8 years, and Joker and Giannis, neither of them have really been dominant threats often in their own conference, to the point where the Bucks are like, bro, we ready to go.
It's a team game. It's a team game now. And if you don't have the right supporting cast, like the Bucks tried with the Dame Lillard experiment, it didn't work. Chris Middleton never was the same after the injury and after the championship. So, I mean, you try to put the pieces together, but like I said, you have to, the front office, the scouting department, you got to be real savvy in order to really put a competing team around. Look at OKC, bro. They got 15 first-round draft picks, and they got a young core. They got guys over there ready to eat somebody's arm off to get on the court that fits well with their star players. That's how you do it. Sam Presti has done a tremendous job building this team.
He has for years.
For years. That's how you go about it. Like, if you don't continue to build and shape and develop your young players, you're not going to be able to capitalize on a long run in the playoffs. That's why I brought up San Antonio. They had back-to-back rookies of the year. Right? High draft picks, back-to-back rookies of the year. Now they bring De'Aaron Fox over. Now everybody like, well, hey,
Harper.
It's like, right? They got somebody who's vying for rookie of the year this year.
Yeah.
But that's the development. That's the front office. That's the organization. So I'm not going to put it all on.
Would other people get all this? I'm not putting it all on him, but I like to be fair. would other people get this slack? Would LeBron be getting this slack? Not getting to the East. Imagine how many times he obviously went to the Eastern Conference Finals.
The East was weak, bro. Like let's stop doing that. Let's stop doing that.
Let's go to the West. If you had Tim Duncan, who won a couple of MVPs, if Larry Bird back then, obviously, if Magic, who won 3, I'm just simply saying, I feel like other people would get way more smoke if their teams weren't getting there.
I get it. I understand what you're saying. Nikola Jokic, number one, is not from here. Number two, he's very unassuming. He's not going to have a lot of sound bites. Not going, is not a media personality whatsoever. He just play ball, man. He don't care what nobody talking about. He don't care who say what and what. He a hoop player.
He is.
At the end of the season, after winning the championship or MVP, he going to play on the farm with the horses, have his shirt off, drink beers next to trash can fires. Like he is. He's the opposite of what you would think an NBA MVP would be, but all he does is go about his business. That's all he does. And so it's unassuming. It's very hard. He's not going to speak out against the criticism. He doesn't care. He's just going to ball. And I respect that as a player. But they got to do something with that team. Now Jamal Murray's good in flashes. Sometimes he shows up in the playoffs. Sometimes he
only
doesn't.
shows up versus the Lakers.
Right. Exactly.
He loves to go crazy.
That part.
Hit game winners, 30-point.
Anybody else?
Against the Lakers, Jamal Murray is Jamal Wilkes. I mean, he is going. He going crazy. All right, 877-99 on Fox. Maybe I'm crazy, Ephraim. The talent, the greatness. I'm not denying that, but I thought between him especially, but also a Giannis, that I would get a little bit more for what they've been able to do over the last nearly a decade of their career, what they've been able to do. 877-99 on Fox. Take a few calls on this. Do you want more? Is this the season he's got to prove more? The Spurs are young. He took the Thunder to 7 games last year. Can they overcome him this year with arguably the best player in the league? Do you expect more from him, or is he? If you're perfectly fine where he is. We'll take some calls on that. It is the Odd Couple. Ephraim is in for Rob on a Worship Wednesday. Stick with your boys, Fox Sports Radio.
LeBron may have put his foot in his mouth once again. Take a listen.
Playing 82 games in the 80s and 90s is not the same as playing 82 games in the 2020s. It's just not. The way we play, the level of pace, the level of the speed that we're playing at, it's a different game now. It's a totally different game. It's a lot of soft tissue injuries that's happened now because of it.
Straight. Boulder Dash, Poppycock. I mean, come on. Like LeBron, this is where people push away. When you hear this and he's trying to justify and whatnot. We get the injuries and what's going on. People used to get injured there, and it was different defensively. But, Rob G., you did the research, right? Or you found out. You got them, too.
I got the numbers.
And the numbers just don't add up for LeBron, and that's the issue. And that's what we talk about. When you listen to these terrible podcasts and there's nobody there to push back and say, well, that's interesting, LeBron, because back in so-and-so, it's the same, and you're saying you're playing differently. What you got?
Man, let me tell you. You're right, because he is absolutely right what he said.
That's why I want to talk to Rob G then.
I got the numbers. No, I'm saying he's absolutely right. And that the 80s and 90s was way harder to play in. Way more difficult to play in.
That's what I'm saying. All right.
Yeah, because, listen, let's talk about the numbers. First of all, LeBron typically, he can be this, he can be polarizing, he can be passive-aggressive. One of the things he normally is very astute when it comes to basketball. His acumen, he knows he's a historian. That's one of the things I appreciate.
How do you say that when he voted for Bronny for the All-Star game?
Well, that's his son. You know what I mean? Nepotism,
I'm
cronyism.
yes.
You got to get
All
that done. But, he usually is very well studied, historically, knows the game. That's one of the things you can at least appreciate about him. This one, he's dead wrong in my opinion for multiple reasons. Number one.
Are we recording this?
The 80s was the absolute, to me, hybrid of the two. You got the fast pace, and he's talking about pacing. Let's talk about the pacing. In the 80s, it was the fastest. In fact, the only pace that they had was 1 year, 87 to 88, when they had a slower pace. They were at 99.6, which the current pace is at 99.6. After that, you're talking 100.6 to 102.1.
Did he ever watch Showtime?
Showtime. The Celtics, the Pistons, the 76ers with Dr. J,
yes.
Houston with the Hakeem and Ralph Sampson. The Nuggets, they were going back in the day.
The Nuggets would score 175 points on a regular basis. Yes.
Watch
Alex
this.
English and all those guys. Yes.
Kiki Vanderway. Not only were they playing at a higher pace, what else would you see? Punches, clotheslines, and hard fouls.
And they were physical. You come into the lane, guess what? You're going to get a two-piece and a biscuit.
So they are playing at a faster pace, way more physical. They didn't have commercial airlines. They did not have the advanced medicine and nutrition that they have right now.
They used to ride next to me on the plane.
Literally.
When I covered the NBA back then, NBA players sat next to me. We were on commercial flights.
Yep.
We took 6 a.m. flights out of every city.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was an NBA rule because back then you didn't come back home and get in your own bed. You would go on a road trip.
Yep.
And you would stay on the road and you would fly to the next city and we would be on those flights.
Exactly. So the idea that, it's just so hard now. All y'all do is go 35 feet out and set pick and rolls. Now, if you want to talk about soft tissue issues and why guys are beat up and brutal, I tell you why, and I've been telling this since the duration of me on this show. It's that they only play basketball since they were 6. And that's all they do. And they're playing for their team. They're playing for the travel league. They're playing AAU. Then they play for this team.
That's not what people did. They played all sports.
They played all sports. How many times we hear about guys playing football, baseball, basketball? Oh, I didn't really lock into basketball until my freshman year because the other years I was playing this. Or in high school, I had to decide which one am I going to finally commit to because I played all of these sports. That's the issue why guys are beat down, wore out. That's why LaMelo Ball is always injured, and Lonzo Ball is always injured, and Zion's always injured.
And they played 1 million games on the AAU circuit on the
6
weekend.
6 on Saturday, 5 on Sunday.
Ridiculous.
Then I go back to my regular team, and I'm playing too much. But the idea that they're playing faster pace and it's harder. Yeah, right. You have everything catered to you. The best medicine, best nutrition, best travel, best doctors.
I don't remember any masseuses traveling when I was covering the NBA in the 80s. I don't even remember. There was some fat guy in there rubbing you down after a game.
That's about the best you got. What was the dude with the Pistons for all those 30, 40 years? What was his name? Mike
Abdenauer.
Abdenauer, exactly. But
that's a good call for you. Very good. Mike Abdenauer.
Yeah. So I'm blown away with this one, LeBron. It's a big miss because they played at a faster pace throughout the duration of the 80s. They played much more physical basketball. They didn't have the advancement of medicine and technology. So I don't get where he's going. We got calls? Yeah. Just want to make sure. That's all. 877-99 on Fox. That's right. Call in, jump in. Odd couple. On the way, by the way, we have Jonathan Von Tobel getting ready to join us. We'll talk some March Madness as it kicks back off tomorrow. Sweet 16. Ephraim, that'll be some good action. Looking forward to that. For over 40 years, Tire Rack's been helping customers find the right tires for how, for what, and for where they drive. Ship fast and free, backed by free road hazard protection. With convenient installation options like mobile tire installation, TireRack.com. It is the way tire buying should be. Ephraim's in for Rob. It's the odd couple. All right, Ephraim. Again, Joker is incredible. 3-time MVP. You say he should have 4. I think a lot of people say he should have 4.
Of course. He can win it this year. Hell.
Yeah, he's right there for without a doubt. I think it's SGA's to lose. I think if Wemby and the Spurs were somehow able to come back or catch up and take the Western Conference, which they're currently 3 games behind, I think that makes it incredibly close at that point. I think it's a lock for him to be Defensive Player of the Year, but it'd be crazy. You mess around and get MVP and DOP as well. All right, 877-99 on Fox. You want more winning from Joker? If he's that great, is he perfectly fine with where he is right now, he and the Nuggets and he and his career? Am I asking for too much? Maybe. Could be. 877-99 on Fox. Who we got?
We got Tony in Miami. You on the odd couple with Kelvin and Ephraim. What you got, Tony?
What's up, Ephraim? By the way, real quick, I love you and your boy on Sunday night. You guys are awesome.
Oh, Mark Willard. Yeah, man. I appreciate that.
Shout out to Mark.
Never heard of him. Just to bring context to what Calvin was saying, I think you got to let him breathe a little. I think if you look at the history of the championships, if you really watch it, there's always a moment. It might not be in Game 7. Sometimes it can be Game 4, Game 5. It's when the series is won and lost. Last year, you got Denver and OKC. That was down to the last 3 or 4 minutes. That was a close game. I mean, It didn't come down to the last shot, but they're dealing with injuries. That essentially was for the championship. The year before, you have Milwaukee and Boston, and that kind of whittled down to the Game 7 in similar situation. I think if you let them breathe, I think they will. I don't like putting all these expectations because we all saw the greatest from the past. These guys are cut from a different thing, and just because the American AAU scrubs decided to take a helicopter to the mountaintop, whether it be Westbrook, Harden, LeBron, Durant, that doesn't mean these guys are doing that. They sit there every year and they say, we hope to get there, and if we don't, we're going to keep on trying. They're not quitters. So I think if you let them breathe, just let it breathe. Championships are special, and they shouldn't be devalued like they have in the last 10, 12 years. I'll let you go. Thanks for taking the call.
No
good
doubt.
job,
Hey,
Tony.
respect
That's a
that.
great point, man. Very good point.
Respect the call. Who we got next?
We got Marshall in Duluth. You on the odd couple with Kelvin and Ephraim. What you got?
What up, guys?
What's happening, man?
What up?
Mostly, okay, so first I will say I'm biased. I'm not a big man. I don't play like a big man, so it's hard for me to, really vibe with big guys. I always say that to my, friends that are big guys. But my big thing is, it is about winning, right? It's, especially in this day and age, it's easier to score than it was back in the day. And it's just, we had the one guy scoring 80 points the other day. 40 points of those were free throws. I'm not taking anything away from him. He got it. It's his. And the same with the MVPs. I'm not taking away the MVPs. He's a great player. He'll be remembered as a great player. But to be one of the greats, that's kind of what Calvin was saying. If you want to be one of the greats, you got to win. That's all that really matters on the paper, is how many W's do you have at the end, how many championship rings you got at the end. That's what really matters.
All right, that's a good point.
And that's all. And that's Ephraim. Just all I was saying, where we're starting to place him.
I got you.
Know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's all I was saying.
I got you.
No doubt. Hey,
and that you guys do make a good point. I was just really thinking about just overall skill and what his ability to control the games. But yes, to your point, you and Marshall, yes.
Yeah, appreciate it. Hey, Marshall, thanks for the call. All right, we got Jonathan Von Tobel getting ready to join us here. Get you ready for some March Madness. And don't forget, we got last call coming up a little bit later on if you couldn't get through there as well. Right now, Bree is going to get you updated on the Lakers. Got Bronny out there a little early tonight, Bree.
Yeah, and Luka Doncic had 41 points and 7 assists. They actually brought him back. They had sat him at, I think the end of the third quarter, but I think they brought him back just to get over 40 points. I don't know really what was the point. He already had 36. Ephraim, did you see that? What was going on? Why did they bring him back?
They start losing the lead. They was up by 40 the whole game. What you talking about? They're only
It's
up
the
by like
Pacers.
7 with 33 seconds
They
left.
would have
They were
been
up by
fine.
40.
It felt very stat patty to me.
What you talking about? The guys who came in gave up the lead.
Bronny James
Almost.
and LeBron could have figured it out. I don't think they
he
knew.
could not have. That's why he's sitting over there with his sweats on now.
20 seconds left to go. The Lakers are on top of the Pacers, 133 to 127. Like I said, Luka Doncic.
Exactly. Say it again, Bree. Say the score.
It's the
Say
Pacers.
it again, Bree.
It's the Pacers.
Right,
Though. It doesn't
exactly.
count. It's fine. It felt very stat patty to me. But anyways,
Luka out here wincing and looking old, by the way. But continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's totally
Look
fine.
at the hate.
The Hawks are on top of the Pistons, 118 to 116. A minute left to go in the game. The Celtics are trying to end the 12-game winning streak by the Thunder, 192. 7 minutes left to go. Jayson Tatum, 18 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. The Cavs are on top of the Heat, 90 to 88. And the Spurs are blowing out the Grizzlies, 73 to 49. It is opening night in Major League Baseball, and the Yankees are shutting out the Giants. It's the bottom of the 4th inning. Logan Webb has allowed 6 hits and 3 in a 3rd inning so far. So hopefully he doesn't come back out for that. Thinking of Mark Willard during this time, that's kind of rough. In the NHL, the Bruins are on top of the Sabres, 2-1, just getting started in the 3rd period there. And the Maple Leafs are outscoring the Rangers 3-2 early in the 3rd period. And in the NIT quarterfinals, Illinois State defeated Dayton 61-55, and Auburn is outscoring Nevada 30-14. 7 minutes left to go in the first half. Thank you guys for letting me hang out with you. Have a good night.
You're welcome. Final score is 137 to 130. Just so you know.
Just so I know.
Brave.
Okay, I'm just saying, it felt very stat patty. Then he got a technical. It was all weird. It was just weird. Just saying.
Yeah. To Ephraim's point, though, thank you, Bree. You do want to end the game better than that. You want to, especially against a team. My gosh, it is in the Devonta sweepstakes or Peters sweepstakes or whoever they're going to ultimately get. You want to finish better than that. JJ will be heated. You know how intense he is.
Yeah, he should be.
Yeah, Ephraim's in for Rob, Kelvin Washington. Hey, are you into video games, celebrities, or maybe just want to have a good time? The Global Gaming League is a video game league with celebrity-owned teams from T-Pain, Neo, to hopefully we can get Ephraim on there soon.
Come on,
and
man.
make sure you go there and play everything from Call of Duty to Tetris. Sign up, join the league now at globalgamingleague.com. We are joined now, Jonathan Von Tobel, VSiN senior basketball analyst, host of Money Moves on VSiN as well. Jonathan, man, appreciate you joining us. What's going on?
Nothing much, guys. Good NBA card today, so taking some of that in. Sweet 16 back tomorrow. Baseball's back, so it's a good time to be a sports fan.
No doubt about that. Let's start real quick. You know what? Actually, I'm going to start here real quick before we get to the tournament. Since you mentioned opening night for MLB, where are the Yankees at? Where does everybody put the money on the Yankees? They're, of course, just kind of perennial favorites, if you will, with Aaron Judge and so on. Where are people expecting them to do this year?
Yeah, pretty much exactly what you're talking about, right? Contender in the American League, favorite up there to do so and win the American League pennant. Expectation is just that, favored to win the AL East as well. That's a team that the betting market and a lot of people just always expect to be there near the top. Interesting start, to the season, not the game, but the way their rotation looks. With Cole starting on the IL, what's going to look like, Luis Gil going out and getting optioned, but I think ultimately they're going to be fine and be pretty good. So the expectation is they are going to be right there at the end. We'll see if that actually happens, but rightfully so. The offense is great, the bullpen is deep, and the rotation, when it's healthy and ready, is going to be among the better ones in Major League Baseball. But I think there's a couple of teams that could probably get them in the American League and maybe even in their own division.
Well, we're not talking about baseball. It's been one game. We talking about the Sweet 16. All right, let's get y'all want to spend the whole first part of the segment talking about the opening day. I don't care about all that. Nobody care about all that right now, man. We talk about the brackets. Where the money at in the brackets in the Sweet 16? What we got? Where is all the money? And who's the favorite to come out of this thing?
Well, so I'll give you a couple of sides that are getting to be pretty popular at this point right now. Obviously, whenever you pull off a pretty big upset, you're going to get a lot of attention. Iowa got a lot of attention when those numbers first got put up against Nebraska. It opened up as a 3-point spread, got immediately cut down to 1.5. So there is some support for the Hawkeyes to maybe pull this off again to a much lesser degree. Obviously, they were a 10-point underdog to Florida when they beat them over the weekend. I think Nebraska might be getting a little disrespected, though. They're a good defensive team. They're a little undervalued on that end, but Iowa is a very popular wager, as is, and there's a couple of them here, but Arkansas against Arizona. A lot of people don't think that Tommy Lloyd can do this. I hear a lot of, Tommy Lloyd, he stinks. He's not a good coach. He's going to flame out here in the Sweet 16. I tend to think the opposite. I'm very curious how the demure Darius Acuff, who is very, very good, but very small and is going to match up with a very big backcourt defensively, how he's going to look and also how he's going to defend, because Braden Burries is a big kid, man, and he's going to be able to go after him almost every single possession. So that's going to be a ton of fun to watch. But those are two of the popular ones that are sitting out there right now. But as far as the favorite is concerned, in the big picture, Duke's still at the top there to win this whole thing, just barely the favorite at some spots to win the NCAA tournament.
Well, before you go, Kelvin, let me just follow up on this. When you say Duke is the favorite, now I'm sure you watched their first 2 rounds, right?
They didn't look great.
They did not look great, right? It took, Siena was really, they had an opportunity to really win that game. I knew exactly when the game changed, when they missed 2 dunks back-to-back, and they were up by 11 at that point, and then Duke kind of came down, hit a 3, got to stop, hit another 3, changed the whole game. Are you confident that Duke can take this thing the whole way, given how they've looked in the first 2 rounds?
I don't think I would say confident, no. Like you guys have said, I mean, Siena shot the ball really well in that first half, really fell off. They only played 5 guys, too, which was ridiculous. So they got a little lucky there, Duke did. And then they looked a lot better in the second half against TCU, but we know about the beat-up nature of their backcourt and the fact that they just get their big guy back, and so maybe you got to work some things out. But I do think there are still some of that team that terrorized the ACC. I mean, look, the ACC didn't really look good in the NCAA tournament up to this point, but Duke was beating the tar out of every single one of those teams heading into the NCAA tournament. So I still think that is in there. And, we're opened up with some of these popular teams. St. John's is another one. There's a lot of support for St. John's out there, and yet, and this is something that a lot of people will point to, despite the fact that St. John's is getting bet by some folks in terms of ticket count, the number's moving in favor of Duke to get to that 7-point range, and that would kind of tell you that maybe there's some respect to money behind the Duke Blue Devils here in this round against St. John's. So I think that, for me personally, Arizona was my national champion before this all started. I think the world of that team. I think Michigan, when they're on and not turning the ball over, is probably going to be able to get Duke as well. But I do think that I wouldn't be surprised if they still carve their way out to maybe a Final Four or obviously an Elite Eight if they beat St. John's this week. Tomorrow. Or is that tomorrow or Friday? Either way, here in the Sweet 16.
It's Friday.
Yeah, Friday. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're watching them over the weekend, but I don't think that they would be the ones that are ultimately cutting down the nets, no.
Here is Jonathan Von Tobel joining us right now, VSiN senior basketball analyst, host of Money Moves on VSiN as well. Let me go here. You just mentioned somebody. It has nothing to do, Jonathan, absolutely nothing to do with the fact that I'm born and raised in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Nothing to do with it. Let's go to Michigan since you brought him up, dang it. First of all, this looks more like a football game. Alabama, Michigan, that'd be a great football game, but here it is. We got hoops. Michigan, how are they able to rebound? Juwan Howard situation didn't end well, but here they are again where they got a chance to, they're a number 1 seed to get back in the Final Four and ultimately maybe a national championship game. And where they look with a bunch of guys from different places and playing well this season.
Yeah, I mean, on the odds board, they're depending on where you look, and when I say Duke's the favorite too, there's cents of difference, right? Plus 370, plus 380. So there's a minute difference between these teams. Michigan's right up there with them as well. And I'm very fascinated by this. This actually, to your point about football, it's a Rose Bowl rematch. They played 2 years ago, right?
Oh, I was there. I was there. It was here in L.A. Right? Yeah, of course.
So hopefully it's as fun. But I would say that I'm going to be really curious because obviously Alabama's coming off of that absolute just annihilation of Texas Tech where they shot the lights out from beyond the arc. But I feel like this is a matchup that maybe sneakily Michigan can scuffle with a little bit. One of their biggest weaknesses on offense is the fact that they can and have a penchant to turn the ball over at a really high rate. They're in the mid-160s in terms of offensive turnover rate. They were in the bottom half of offensive turnover rate in Big Ten play. It was the thing that kind of plagued them when they looked their worst, and still, of course, we know how good they are. And if you're going to give free opportunities to a team like Alabama who likes to get out and run and get in transition and get some of those opportunities from beyond the arc in those situations, at least when you look at the number, when they're laying 10 points, 9.5 points, I could see a scenario in which Alabama stays inside of that number, but in a really high-scoring game, because I don't think Alabama is stopping Michigan. Their offense is absolutely incredible outside of the turnovers. They're highly efficient. They can match tempo if they want to as well. Would you guys be surprised at all if we were talking about a final score that was 95 to 87 or something like that?
Michigan was going crazy earlier in the season.
Scoring affair. Yeah, so I think that we're going to see something like that.
Let's talk about a real team in Michigan, Michigan State.
Boy, you lucky I ain't next to you. Boy, I know you 6'12". That is not the point.
No, is this the year UConn, captures what they had a couple years ago, back-to-back championship? Can they deal with the athleticism of a Michigan State? Because what I do know is Michigan State, those guys can attack the rim. Goodness gracious. Can UConn stand up to their athleticism and their defensive prowess?
I don't think so. I haven't really liked this UConn team a ton. You go back to the first round where they don't cover against Furman. They were 21-point favorites, never even came close to covering that number against the little old Paladins. And from a betting standpoint, UConn has actually been one of the worst bet-on teams in the country. They've been awful against the spread. And, of course, they were the second or third worst team against the number in the entire field heading into this thing. The betting market's been too high on where UConn's at. And I don't know if I'm taking too much away from UCLA. I mean, obviously missing one of your best players and then going out there and losing in a close game to UConn too. And you talk about the athleticism, the stout front line for Michigan State as well, their ability to defend. I think they're going to kind of run into a brick wall here against Michigan State. The Spartans were my Final Four pick to come out of that region, so I'm going to kind of stick to my guns against the UConn team that did not impress in the first round of the NCAA tournament or hasn't really impressed throughout a regular season that included playing through a Big East that absolutely stunk outside of them and, of course, St. John's. So I think the Spartans dispatched them. I think they went out right. They're small dogs, like 2-point underdogs Michigan State is, but I would disagree with that. I think they should be favored.
Yeah. Well, if Rob was here, he would say it ain't happening. Tom Izzo ain't going to never win again. It's been 35-something years. He only won one. So in honor of my partner not being here, let me make sure I say what he would say. Jonathan, appreciate it as always, man. We'll do it again soon.
Always good to catch up.
Thanks,
Thank
Jonathan.
You.
All right, no doubt. Hey, on the way, Ephraim, you got something to break down about youth sports. I want to hear what you had to say about this. I'm not even sure what you're about to say, so I'm going to find out just like you. Stay with your boys. It's the Odd Couple. Ephraim's in for Rob, Kelvin Washington on a Worship Wednesday, Fox Sports Radio.
Yeah, it's a big week for us here at Fox because they were killing the game when it came to the WBC ratings. The 2026 WBC final, where Team USA came up small once again, had a robust, to quote Rob Parker, 10.78 million viewers. Most watched WBC telecast on any network ever. All right, and just for some context, in case you're like, hey, 10.8 is not a big number. I've heard numbers bigger than that. For context, guys, the 2025 NBA Finals average viewership, 10.2 million viewers. So, Rob, I ask you this. With these ratings coming out for the WBC, the championship game specifically, does this cement the fact that baseball is now the number 2 sport in America, not basketball?
I'm going to say this first. I don't think it ever wasn't. The NFL, we know where that fits in.
Yeah.
Baseball, no sport can compete because it's only once a week. It's just totally different. And even the people who watch, they don't care about the teams that they're watching. They might have a player or two on their fantasy. So that changes. And the other part is the gambling aspect that you cannot ignore. Okay? Football used to be, Kelvin, on ABC for Monday Night Football for a long time. Do you know why it moved off of Monday Night Football on the network? Wasn't doing well. It was prior to fantasy.
Prior to
you know what I mean?
Fantasy,
And football, so it's in a different league. Baseball, these numbers to me are significant. And part of it is you had about 20 or 25 Hall of Famers retire, right? A-Rod, Big Papi, Bonds, Poole. Am I right? Like 25. Like Hall of Famers, guys who have played a long time. So there was a lull. Then the game got boring because it was home runs or strikeouts. I'll be the first one to tell you. It was just brutal, right? No base running, no hits, the shift. Guy hit a bullet up the middle, and there's the shortstop right up behind second base, right? Take a hit away. All that. And now you look, and as you see numbers decreasing for sports leagues, Kelvin, on television, baseball has bucked the trend. Baseball's numbers continue to grow, and probably the most promising is the social media numbers, right? Because that's your future. That's your young people. So those numbers have continued to grow as well. But these numbers here are pretty shocking for me, even for me. You know, I'm okay with the WBC, but I'm not crazy, right? I'm not all the way crazy. These numbers, Kelvin, for an exhibition in March, these aren't ratings counting Venezuela, the Dominican Republic. Mm-hmm. You're not counting any other nations. We talked about the World Series numbers that were gigantic without covering Canada. Canada's numbers didn't count. So all I'm saying is, while some leagues complain, and you could go and look it up for yourself, and you've heard Adam Silver talk about, the World Series, the presidential election, this, that. Even this year, Kelvin, NBA Saturday night primetime games, down 20%. Sunday's doing way better. They're up, but they're down 20% Saturday night. So I look at baseball, I look at their attendance numbers, 73 million tickets sold, more than all the other leagues combined. And probably the best sign is that the numbers, despite, television real well, most things going down as far as viewership. You know that? National news programs. Look at all the talk shows, right, that they're canceling. Like, the numbers are not really good for television. But live sports and national news are what moves the needles now, Kelvin. And baseball is doing really well. Those numbers are ridiculous.
That's great for baseball. It's been, and I've had the honor of doing the show with you now for 2 baseball seasons, and we've sat up here, we've marveled, we've enjoyed. In my first go at it, what did we get? We got Yankees Dodgers for the first time since '81. So if you're the league,
and we're not new to the party because we talk it. You know what I mean?
Oh, without a doubt. And so what I'm going to do on my portion of this segment, Rob, I'm going to just echo what you said, but the NBA version, in that everything you said is factual for MLB. I think if you're the NBA, you take note of that, right? Fox Sports Radio. One more time for you boys. It is the odd couple, Kelvin Washington, Ephraim Salaam, who's been in for Rob. Been a great show. Thank you for listening. Thank you to all of our guests. Jonathan Von Tobel just joined us a minute ago. Mark Funky Comedina as well. Appreciate that. Rob G, we'll get that up on the pod here. As soon as we're done, we'll get a best-of version as well. By the way, professional wrestling fans, this is for you. The action continues every week. TNA Thursday Night Impact every week. Don't miss the adrenaline, the drama, and the total nonstop action as you watch your favorite TNA wrestling stars. For showtimes, more information, visit TNAWrestling.com. It is now time for us to hear what Ephraim had to say about youth sports. I heard you got a call.
Cut the music.
Yeah, you don't want to hear about Jesus right now?
Jesus is on our side.
Okay.
So I volunteer here in the community at the rec center. It costs $10 for you to sign up and your child to play basketball there. And the winter season is the big season. At the end of the winter season, it's LA's biggest tournament. All the parks called the All-Star Tournament, and it's broken up into different ages. It's supposed to be fair competition where kids who play at the park have an opportunity to play on an all-star team at a high level. Some of these kids may never make an AAU team or a travel team. And we were in this tournament. I've been doing this for 4 years. I've been in 3 championships, one last year. This year I moved up to the majors division, which is 11 and 12-year-olds. And we're playing in the championship against the team, a park, Richie Valens. They got beat in the semis, but miraculously someone called and had an email that the team that they played had an ineligible player, so they got bumped up into the championship. And we played. It was hard fought, and they beat us. And I was okay with that, right? Because I don't coach for wins and losses. I just coach for effort. My kids gave everything they had. But when we were in the trophy ceremony, the award ceremony, we had to stay and watch them get their trophies, which was crazy. But I noticed.
You had to?
I noticed that the coach came right out and said, "Hey, this is for all the parents at the park who their child didn't make the All-Star team and they're rooting against us. Ha, we're winners. Ha, ha, ha." And I was like, wow, that's weird. Then I noticed every kid that he called up, they all had the same backpack on. And what I noticed was it wasn't the backpack for the All-Star team for Richie Valens. It was actually the backpack for a travel ball team. They all had the travel ball backpack on. And then I did a little research later that day and found out that the majority of every kid on that team was from his travel ball team, not leaving space and opportunity from any other kid at that park to make the All-Star team. I also heard from a coach who coached there and told me what my sentiments were right. His child did not want to play on his travel team and didn't have an opportunity to be on the All-Star team for the park. Parents, everybody, I talked about it on my show, everybody reached out to me saying that they felt that it was unfair the way the park was running it, the way the coach was handling it, the whole 9 yards. We have proof of the coach online on Instagram saying how his 12U travel team won the Valley Region Rec Championship. Right? So I submitted I say all that to say I submitted all this to the board just for fair practices and for everything to be above board. And they came back and said, well, we called over to the park and they said that everything they did was right and everything they did and I said, so if there is no checks and balances with this, right? If a team can bring an entire travel basketball team that practices and plays year-round together.
Right.
I coached my All-Star team that I picked from the season. It's 8-game season. I picked the players before the season is over, and then we have a week to prepare for the tournament.
Right.
They're practicing year-round because it's his travel ball team.
Right.
And no kid not on the travel ball team made the All-Star team. And when I submitted that, it was like, I was like, do you guys not understand what that, well, we can't, they said it wasn't. I said, so they said it. What about the proof that I sent in? I sent in letters from parents and coaches from their own park who told me and told them that the draft process in the park wasn't equitable. The coach got to pick and choose players that he wanted on his team, and then that no player outside of the ones that he coached on the travel team had an opportunity to even make the All-Star team. And my whole thing is, if this is about youth sports, this is not AAU, this is not travel ball, this is rec ball. If you can't govern that, then what is the point? What's the point of stealing away an opportunity from kids who may not be able to go play travel ball, who may not be able to go play AAU because they can't afford it, number one. And number two, this is the opportunity for them to play and represent their park and their community, and it's taken away. And the Valley Region Sports Board did nothing about it. So if you're out there and you're a fan of youth sports, email them. Let them know. Yeah. Let them know that's not right, and they shouldn't do that to kids who deserve it. And I'm out.
All right. You done ran for president twice today. Great show, E. And I'm with you. That's right. I got your back, Vice President.
The Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon is coming up next.
I never miss your radio show. I never hear it, so I never miss it.
Did you hear that?